Thursday, more of the same. Sunshine will dominate. We'll be in the upper 80s both days. Then the risk of scattered showers holding off, I think, till Thursday night into Friday with a front nearby. Cooler Friday with a high near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
A lawsuit filed against the city of Tuscaloosa by the owners of a sports bar there has now been dismissed by the Alabama Supreme Court. The decision was unanimous from the Alabama Supreme Court justices. The 1225 Sports Bar claimed that the city had racially discriminated against them by placing an occupancy limit on customers allowed within the bar. The 1225 Sports Bar owners claimed that this hurt revenue and was a conspiracy by city leaders to target minority-owned businesses and wrongfully blame that bar for a shooting that took place back in 2023 and received national headlines since it involved two of the Crimson Tide basketball players. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The city of Montgomery has been stonewalling the record requests coming from 1819 News to track the financial activities of Mayor Stephen Reed and his staff. The mayor has engaged in many out-of-state activities and is getting paid for speaking engagements through a talent agency. 1819 News has made record requests through the Open Records Act of 1975, but the city has claimed there has to be a justification for those requests. 1819 News did present a list of reasons for gaining this public knowledge of the mayor's financial and travel activities. Now the city is demanding $6,000 in photocopying fees to release those financial records. That is something that exceeds the recent state law establishing a more reasonable fee rate for producing public records. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Hold on to your butt.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program, folks. A lot of breaking news happening in the last 10-15 minutes. 2 mass shooting attacks in Israel and Tel Aviv and Jaffa, as well as Iran has sent missiles into Israel. And this all coming on the heels of Israel announcing a small, they claim, incursion into Lebanon. This after last Friday, they killed the head of Hezbollah, has been the head of it since 92, Nasrallah. So I can't think of anybody better who's covering this all the time to join us here at this moment with the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how you doing today?
I'm well, Joey. How are you, my friend?
Personally doing great. Better than I think I've ever been doing. But
that's nice to hear.
Yeah, no, when you start eating right, sleeping well, working out, I feel good. I feel very good. So, over the weekend, I'm watching reactions in particular to the assassination, the killing of Nasrallah with, those massive bombs on top of bombs, bunker busters. And, I watch, of course, your show and Scott Ritter's breakdown, Jeffrey Sachs, Larry Johnson, so many others. But then I like to look at the hawks. And in particular, probably the most well-known Israel hawk would be Ben Shapiro. He seemed very happy and victorious, like we have really neutered the Iranian access and the Iranians themselves. I know your folks were saying, no, Israel is not out of the woods yet by any means, and moving into Lebanon could be a problem. Well, seeing what we're seeing today, I don't see how Israel survives something like this, and they're kind of, I don't know, they're playing with fire here, and I'm wondering how much the United States is going to get pulled into all of this.
I don't think the United States is going to get pulled into a land war. I can't imagine the American public, particularly in an election season, tolerating dead Marines fighting in Lebanon. But I'm sure that the United States, because of the influence of the donor class, the Israeli lobby, and its iron grip on the American government, will provide all sorts of air support for the invasion and defensive behavior to repel missiles and projectiles coming from Lebanon and from Iran. I was mortified by Prime Minister Netanyahu, who shortly after he denounced the United Nations to an empty General Assembly. There were people there applauding him, but they were people from the Israeli embassy the Israeli consulate, that were in the visitors gallery, went to an office in the building and ordered a murder. That's a felony under New York state law. It's a felony under federal law. It's just as if some mafia chieftain had picked up a phone in the United Nations and said, kill this guy, he's 5,000 miles away in Sicily. That's basically what Netanyahu did, except it was 5,000 miles away, and it wasn't Sicily, it was Beirut. That's just not the way the rules-based order operates. But that's the way this fanatical, that's driven by religious fanatics who, if they left the government, Netanyahu would be out of office because he wouldn't have a majority in the Knesset. That's the way this fanatical, genocidal government operates. Look, I'm not a military person, as you know. I'm a constitutional scholar, but the military people to whom I speak tell me that Nasrallah was extremely popular, but was their PR person, not their military person. And whoever succeeds him is likely to be less temperate and more hardline. The Israelis are foolish to invade Lebanon. The last time they did in 2006, they lost thousands and they went scampering home.
Well, and, in my look at this, I think the genocidal intent, Israel has the means, but I think the more I look at this conflict and the history of it, I don't see true peacemakers. I know there are people on both sides that want peace, but it doesn't seem like they're driving the car.
Netanyahu and his government do not want peace. The negotiators for the ceasefires in Gaza know that it was a charade. It was just a facade. They want to evacuate the West Bank, the Golan Heights, and Gaza of all Palestinians. And if that means slaughtering them because they're Palestinians, they'll do that. Their goal is to make greater Israel from the river to the sea, legally Israel, by slaughtering the ethnic group that is in their way. They're not in favor of peace. They're in favor of war, and they welcome the excuse of October 7. One still scratches one's head as to how October 7 happened, but we won't know that until after Netanyahu is out of office and is the subject of the investigation that undoubtedly will come.
The last thing you bring up is a huge question, and it didn't seem like a very satisfactory answer, at least publicly, what actually happened that day. Not to, steal Piers Morgan's shtick, but, for a second here, what should have the state of Israel done after October 7th and then after Hezbollah starts firing rockets in solidarity with Hamas on October the 8th? What do you think would have been the best?
Well, I can't answer that question from October 7th. What should they have done from 1948? They shouldn't be occupying other people's lands. I mean, the United Nations has declared the occupation of Gaza unlawful. And under the laws of war, the occupied power has a right and a duty to engage in violence against the occupiers. It didn't start on October 7th. It started in 1948 when the Zionists began stealing and occupying other people's lands. Okay, the United Nations recognized the 1967 borders of Israel, but it's now twice the size of what it was in 1967. And the recognition was based on a two-state solution. Well, how can you have a two-state solution when one side is occupying the territory of the other side to the point where the general in charge of the occupation after he retired referred to the occupied area as an open-air concentration camp? That's not me. That's the Israeli general who was once in charge of the occupation. That's what we're facing here. And when this genocidal maniac spoke before Congress, he got 58 standing ovations, which is more than FDR, Ronald Reagan, or Winston Churchill ever got.
Now, I just wonder, though, we're several decades into this, and it seems like every peace deal, Israel gets more land. Every deal that seemed to have been thrown on the table, Israel ends up getting more land. The deal falls through, and it seems the other side, the Palestinians, whichever organization, end up getting more money. And it seems like we've been doing this for decades now. I take seriously the folks working on this to actually have peace, but I don't see where it's coming from. And I just seem to think the killing will continue.
I think the Americans, that would be Bill Burns and his team. Bill Burns is the head of the CIA, who participated in the negotiations, were sincere. And I think Hamas was sincere. But what did Israel do with the chief Hamas negotiator? Murdered him. You don't shoot, you don't kill the guy on the other side of the table and expect the people sitting next to him, they didn't kill him at the table, they killed them miles away, and then expect the people negotiating with you to negotiate in good faith. The American government now knows Netanyahu's people duped them. There never was a sincere effort to negotiate a ceasefire, because a ceasefire would have meant the collapse of his government. It would have meant that Smotrich and Ben-Gvir and the right-wing fanatics who were in his government would have pulled out, and he would have had a minority in the Knesset, and that would have forced another Israeli election at a very delicate time. The economy is in shambles. The military is exhausted, and its leaders are begging him not to start another war. He's a killer, and he wants to start another war, and he began it with the murder of Nasrallah, forgive me.
Now, but it's, this is hyperbolic, but it's, to me, it's some part of me goes, because we're at where we're at with the state of Israel being there and having more land. It's like the Japanese suing for peace after bombing Pearl Harbor. Like, it does seem, not that the attack was the same thing by any means, but it seems like we get to attack you out of the blue because we're occupied and we're going to fight. But as soon as we attack, if you use your strength, Israel, no, we want peace. And that seemed to be the actual strategy of the attack on October 7th.
The strategy of the attack on October 7th, and this is where I agree with Netanyahu, was to prevent the recognition by Saudi Arabia of the state of Israel, something he still yearns for, but now is unlikely ever to happen without a two-state solution. Look, I recognize that innocent people were murdered on October 7th. Half of them were murdered by the Israeli military as they tried to escape. Their so-called Hannibal directive, a misuse of the phrase, because Hannibal didn't kill his own troops, he killed himself when he thought he was going to be captured by the Romans. An illogical, immoral, unlawful Israeli-created doctrine that says we can kill our own people if in the long run it would be better that they're dead rather than that they're hostages. So many Israelis were shot in the back, Israeli civilians and soldiers, by other Israeli soldiers so they wouldn't be captured. There isn't a country in the world that justifies doing that. The only other country that I know of that killed its own people in the back was the United States of America under Abraham Lincoln.
I'm sorry to
Right
laugh
where
at
you
that.
are. Right where you are now.
Yes, sir. No, and I just want to underline that point.
You
Y'all
knew
should
what
watch.
was, you knew what was coming when I
did.
paused.
I did, because folks are like, man, he really doesn't like Israel. I'm like, wait till he starts talking about U.S. presidents, folks.
It's
So-
the government of Netanyahu that I dislike. I am a descendant of the Jews. How could I possibly have anything against the Jewish people? It's the fanatics that run the government that think they can engage in genocide that is to be condemned. I have a problem with war criminals. I don't like them.
And thank God for you. You're very consistent when there are very few consistent voices, on, especially on matters of war. Before I let you go, I want to shift real quick because the drumbeat keeps happening. A recent clip from John Kerry at the World Economic Forum calling the First Amendment a roadblock to them being able to build consensus, which is interesting. You would like a government that works off true things, not off of just what everybody is manipulated to believe. That said, he's just another in a long series of folks in the establishment, so-called, that seem to want to get away from the Bill of Rights. And you now have the New Yorker over the weekend coming out with an article headline, "Is it time to torch the Constitution?" I mean, but maybe we've been singeing the Constitution actually for decades, if not centuries now.
So the First Amendment reads, Congress, in part, Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. If the states ratified an amendment repealing the first, would we still have the freedom of speech? That depends on whether you believe our rights come from the government, from the document, or whether our rights come from our humanity. And the document doesn't create the rights, but the Constitution, it restrains the government from interfering with them. People in the government, Donald Trump wants to amend the First Amendment to allow the Congress to criminalize flag burning. He wants to amend the 14th Amendment to do away with due process. When the police catch you in the act of committing a crime, they can administer punishment right there at the scene of it. These scandalous, rampant assaults on the liberties protected by the Constitution need to be addressed and challenged, or we'll end up like East Germany.
Yeah, and again, there are very few that seem consistent. And as you know, we look at this Tim Walz, J.D. Vance debate tonight. It's what did you say, Tweedledum and Tweedledee?
Well, I think that's about right. Their bosses, so to speak, Tweedledum and Tweedledee. That would be Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on the issues that are meaningful to me, which are war and death, debt, and mass surveillance. They're on the same side of all those things. They both want to spend money the government doesn't have and push it on to future generations. They both want to fight wars that have nothing to do with American national security. Harris wants to fight two of them. Trump wants to fight one. And they're both in favor of warrantless mass surveillance, even though Trump himself was victimized by it in 2015 and 2016. That's why I say they're Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Tommy Tuberville gave a great speech on the floor of the Senate 2 days ago, in which, staring at other Republicans and Democrats, he said, "You guys are the war party." And he's 100% correct.
Yes, and I'm happy to have him as our senior senator here from the great state of Alabama. Well, Judge, I always appreciate your time. Who do you got coming up on Judging Freedom?
I was to have had Patrick Lancaster, that intrepid reporter who reports from the war zone. But the Ukrainian government blocked his internet, so he couldn't communicate with us. He could only text. Wow. So he has to go to another area where he's not being blocked. Remaining today, I have Matthew Ho, Karen Kwiatkowski, and the great from Midnight in Mexico, Pepe Escobar, who, if you think I'm hot on the assassinations by Israel, wait till you hear Pepe. Makes me sound like I'm a member of the Likud party by comparison.
Well, Judge, always appreciate your time, and God bless her.
Thank you, Joey. Thanks for having me. All the best to you.
Again, folks, that is Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always appreciate his time. This part of the program brought to you by great folks, Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And, of course, Dillon Rings is a full-service jewelry shop. They are, ready to help you in almost every way, from repairs to custom design work, to spa treatments to make that older jewelry shine and shimmer like it's brand new. They have an amazing selection of items. And in fact, I'm looking at some of that selection on their Facebook page. If you feel like, this is a message from Josh Ryder, the man himself there, Dylan Rings. If you feel like you are losing all hope, a cross necklace can be something you buy for yourself. It can serve as a symbol that this too will pass. You can pick yourself back up and see better days ahead. Hope is a very personal sentiment, and there's no better way to honor it than with jewelry. Hope is never lost, even when it feels like it's not there. You go look at their current selection of crosses. They're absolutely beautiful, folks. And yes, they remind you of a hope bigger than any small thing us mere human beings can come up with. It points to something higher. And so if you want to point to something higher, to find that hope from something bigger than yourself, while also having a beautiful piece of jewelry, stop by Dylan Rings today. You can always go to Dylan Rings on Facebook or Instagram, or go to DylanRings.com. That's DYLAN rings.com. Or I really encourage you to stop by their brand new renovated showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that, Joey and Eddie, he's not here yet. He's got a whole other story to tell. But tell him that Joey, that guy on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be.
1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to do some views in the afternoon. Iran state media. Israel will face crushing attacks if it responds to strikes. IDF says they are shooting down some of the missiles. This is a ballistic missile attack into Israel as terror is happening in the streets of Tel Aviv and Jaffa. Mass shooters there. The idea of saying they're intercepting some of the missiles launched from Iran. I'd imagine if they can do it, the American assets in the region are also helping. This might be a similar repeat of what we've seen before a few months ago. That said, there are some in Israel, people texting me, people we know, saying they have heard explosions all around them. Jordanian airspace closed after these attacks. Secretary of State Tony Blinken says U.S. is committed to Israel's defense. U.S. is not evacuating Americans in Lebanon for the time being. Again, this all coming on the heels of Israel, I believe, announcing last night they were starting major ground incursions into Lebanon to push back elements of Hezbollah. And Iran is confirming that Iran's supreme leader remains in a secure location. You know, that's one aspect of this. When the head negotiator for Hamas was killed, it was in Iran. It was on the day, or the week at least, of the inauguration of the new Iranian president. And so, given what the Israelis were able to do there, given they understood the exact location just this last Friday, the head of Hezbollah, who's been the head of Hezbollah since 1992, the point he was an older man and more of a figurehead, but still, it's a major blow to the morale of Hezbollah. They'll probably do the whole martyr thing, and this is what our jihad's about, but it is still a major blow. The beeper or pager attack, the walkie-talkie attacks, were apparently 15 years in the making. Israel also striking out at the Houthis themselves. And you have to wonder what's next. What's next? Because it doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. And honestly, I'm at this point of, nor should they. I disagree with my friend, Judge Napolitano. I disagree with a lot of friends all the time, and I still call them friends. If you can't be a friend when you disagree on something, then are you really friends at all? That said, there have been so-called peacemakers trying to make peace now for decades. And what has it gotten us? More problems. And to have somebody attack you and then turn around and say, please give us peace, right after punching you in the face. No. No. The issue is the larger question of strength. Larger question of military prowess. Apparently, these launches from Iran are over the entirety of Israel. I would simply say pray for everybody who wants peace, who is in harm's way. Pray especially for the elderly and the young, caught in the middle of this madness that has continued for decade after decade after decade after promise after promise after promise was broken. The air defenses are good. IDF is saying they are taking down missiles. I'm watching all this unfold right now on the TV screen. But I think this is going to get worse before it gets better. We'll see. And when, you think about, say, this big debate tonight, it seems to pale in comparison to the seriousness of what we are, witnessing. But again, I don't think this is going to end anytime soon, and honestly, or should it? People want to fight, then let's fight. If you truly want peace, then let's do that. But I got a sense that that is not on the table right now. Again, 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. I try to look at these things as dispassionately and as from 10,000 feet as I can, but sometimes it just gets to you. When you know there are so many folks caught up in the middle of all this. And that this is the focus of American power and money and media. While I'm looking on the other screen of somebody touring the devastation in North Carolina. For those who say, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. It just seems like the focus is not on our own people at the end of the day. Especially when they need help the most. Not need help every day, these systems of dependency we build up, but help in a true emergency. Like I was saying yesterday, what a mess. As more continues to break in regards to this inflaming of hostilities there in the Middle East, we will cover it. There are a lot of different ways you can feel about this. Honestly, at the end of the day, it just makes me sad. And that's maybe not the biggest word for it. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. I'm going to hit another break. Reset things. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Welcome to Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where they cherish their seniors. Dive into their $9.99 senior-sized meat and 3 lunch specials, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Each meal comes with a refreshing drink and a roll. It's time to savor the flavors that feel like home. Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where tradition meets taste.
Brunch lovers rejoice. Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Epicure and Jack's Tavern offers an exquisite brunch menu alongside their meat and 3 specials. Start your weekend right with the best local flavors. Remember, they're in the old Fantail building waiting to make your Saturday special.
Hi folks, this is Rick Clark with Clark Heating, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. I'd like to take just a minute to talk to you about our experience with Blue Water Broadcasting. One of the hot topics in our staff meetings is spending advertising dollars. If your company or firm is anything like Clark Heating, Air Conditioning and Plumbing, those dollars are limited, so you have to spend them wisely. That's why we choose Blue Water Broadcasting. Our marketing analysis has proven consistently that spending advertising dollars with Blue Water Broadcasting has contributed significantly to our bottom line. And for that, Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is truly grateful. So, if you want to spend your advertising dollars wisely, choose Blue Water Broadcasting and see the difference.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street starts the month awaiting an assortment of employment data of great interest to the Federal Reserve. The stock market has catapulted to records recently on hopes a slowing U.S. economy can keep growing while the Fed cuts interest rates. A big test arrives on Friday when the U.S. government offers its latest monthly update on the job market. Investors are also watching a strike by dock workers at 36 ports from Maine to Texas. The work stoppage has the potential to snarl supply chains and lead to shortages and higher prices if it stretches on for more than a few weeks. The ports involved handle roughly half of the nation's shipping traffic. Inflation in the 20 countries that use the euro fell to 1.8% in September. That's below the European Central Bank's target of 2% for the first time in more than 3 years. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to October. Our nice weather pattern continues for now. Mostly sunny, comfortable humidity today with a high temperature up to about 86. Mainly clear, comfortably cool tonight. Overnight low 67. Tomorrow and Thursday, more of the same. Sunshine will dominate. We'll be in the upper 80s both days. Then the risk of scattered showers holding off, I think, till Thursday night into Friday with a front nearby. Cooler Friday with a high near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
The Israeli military is now saying allowed to leave shelter. Of course, the airspace is now closed. I'm seeing images. It's making the rounds all over the internet of the Iron Dome at work. There's ballistic missiles and cruise missiles sent in. The Iranians, of course, saying if you respond, you'll have a crushing response. Israel saying we will be responding. Like I said, this saga continues. Let's go to the phones, talk to Randall. Hey, Randall, how you doing?
Hey, I wish I had my game on. I missed part of the conversation. I wasn't better. I couldn't keep up with it. But did he mention about Israel shooting the Houthis 7th leader Sunday?
It was we talked about it was not the Houthis, it was Hezbollah.
Hezbollah. Oh, okay.
And so, somebody, by the way, just texted me, like him or not, this stuff didn't happen under Trump. Yep. It didn't.
Right. Well, and then I seen though that Monday, the same day that I thought Houthi did it, but they did shoot out at 70 miles out. It wasn't an American ship that was bringing goods, but they shot missiles and gave them a warning about coming 70 miles closer to the Red Sea. So that it's just heating up more and more, I guess, ain't it?
Oh yeah, and the Houthis they were able to hit Tel Aviv with a hypersonic. Luckily, those aren't in major supply, but they are fast enough to break through air defenses. What is mostly being seen right now is the Iron Dome at work. And I'm sure other players in the region, just like last time this happened, Jordan, even Saudi Arabia, of course, all the U.S. assets in the region are helping to shoot these things down. So that's where it's at. And I mean, you can find the videos of the Iron Dome at work all over the internet right now. I was just looking at it during the break.
Is Iran backing the Houthis still?
Yeah.
They still.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I got that wrong. I sure thought I read Houthis when I was.
Well, and I really do believe when it comes to the Gulf Arab states that, I mean, they will, of course, say Israel needs a ceasefire. They need to stop. The Arab League called for a ceasefire and a two-state solution. But I suspect the new generation of leadership throughout the Gulf Arab states wants Israel to take it to them, whether it's Hezbollah or the Houthis.
And then we're going to be right there with them, huh?
Well, that's the question. How are we going to be right there with them? You know, as far as U.S. interventions go, shooting down missiles is probably one of the better things, if not the best thing you can do. A true defensive shield. But if you throw more troops, though, in the middle of this, it could get messy. And the idea that let's now have the United States attack Iran is, no. That's one thing I really worry about is, I can hear Lindsey Graham right now.
I can hear you right now playing Lindsey Graham or acting like that's the funny part. Cause boy, you sounded like it. It's 10 for us. So we got to worry about we really got to worry about all of them, huh? And what are we looking like on missiles and ammunition since we done gave so much to Ukraine?
That's a good question. Not doing great. I mean, we are manufacturing more, but and we don't have the same capacity like we used to back when the arsenal of democracy was all in vogue as a phrase. I think we're way behind.
Yeah, so,
it's like, why is all this happening over these last few years? Why did Biden screw the pooch when it came to getting Saudi Arabia on board with the Abraham Accords? I think it would have worked. You have the Gulf Arabs and Israel work together to push back against this access of the Iranians have built. I think it would have worked. Why the hell did Russia invade now? It's just, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, you know the answer because it wasn't Biden doing it. So that's pretty much the answer to that. He was just stuck in his little cubby hole and on vacation and they kept him out of the way about as much as they kept American people out of the way. They gave him places to go to keep his mind occupied, and then they gave us things to look at to keep our mind occupied. And that's basically it. I mean, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see a peaceful end to all this. Which is, again, for lack of a better or more robust understanding, is sad. Just how I feel right now seeing all this.
Yes, sir.
Didn't have to be
all
that
right,
way.
brother.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
I know that's, yeah, thank you.
Did not have to be this way. Some are claiming now 500 missiles descend upon Israel. We have friends who live in Israel sending photos from their own backyards, seeing the Iron Dome at work. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, it's Paul.
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
Yeah. As I've told y'all before, I get my news from y'all, so I ain't been hearing too much about all the ins and outs, a whole lot of it anyway. But when they shoot those other missiles down with missiles, now you got a lot of shrapnel. Where's all that shrapnel falling?
Honestly, I'm not a weapons technician, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something to think about, though, is it not?
Yeah. Oh, no, and, like, as good as these missile defense systems are, things can get through, and to your point, shrapnel can fall.
Yeah, those things are what, about as big as a tractor trailer, some of them, and some of them, or the fast ones are a little bit longer than a pickup truck, if not a little bit bigger.
Well, and keep in mind
before
before all this went down with the missile launches from Iran, there were 2 active mass shooters in 2 different cities in Israel about 10 minutes before the missiles started flying.
Like I said, I don't watch TV news, and I hadn't heard a whole lot of detail on the radio about it. But
right now, the IDF, Israel Defense Force, is saying no additional threats from Iran at this time.
Is it remind you of anything written? Anything come to mind?
I try not to go there, Paul.
I know, but that's what it sort of looks like, isn't it?
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm more like I'm happy to say I don't know, but it doesn't look good. I'll also give you that. You're not crazy for believing your own eyes and mine.
Yeah. All it's going to take is just a few more nations to join them, and you almost got Armageddon on your hands. Almost. I'm going to have to go back and rig it up on the different nations now, because it's really, really getting beyond serious. It's been serious enough as it is over there, but it ain't going to be much more. And like you done been saying, it's going to be full-fledged World War.
Yeah, well, if the United States gets dragged into fighting Iran directly, that's where the Russians and the Iranians being so tied to the hip, yeah. And you got World War, and watch China sit back and not be an active part of the shooting, but be supplying the folks fighting us.
Yep.
Like I was saying to Randall, none of this had to happen. There were a lot of paths to make sure this didn't happen. There could have been not just peace, but prosperity in that part of the world. But nope, here we are today.
Well, like you and Randall were saying, none of this happened under Trump. None of it. Not to say it hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
But best I recall, every time this has happened, it's been under Democratic leadership. I know somebody's gonna call me, call out and call me out and tell me I'm wrong, but that's the best I remember my 70 years. Later, brother.
Appreciate it, Paul. 272-9228. I've had a very quick break here, folks. Only a 30-second break. I'll come to all these calls. Again, I'm flying solo today. Eddie is a little under the weather. He might be here today, though, a little later. 30-second break. Be back to all these calls. Again, at 334-272-9228.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hey, this is Ashley, the owner of Pest Pro Services. Tired of those pesky mosquitoes ruining your outdoor fun? Say goodbye to bites and hello to comfort. Our expert mosquito treatments protect your home and your yard, letting you enjoy every moment. Our treatments are effective, safe, pet, and family friendly. Let us help take back your yard. Call us now to book your appointment at 265-9990 or visit us on the web at ppsriverregion.com. Pest Pro Services. When you want to know, call a pro.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Jean. Hey, Jean, how you doing?
Just fine. How was Miss Lucy?
She's all right. They were out of power, lost power. But my dad drove a generator up there, and the baby's fine, the dogs are fine, Will and Caroline are fine, and thank God for that. They're doing good.
Thank goodness. I was just worried. Okay, baby. Thank you, and I love you.
Appreciate it, Gene. Love you, too. Let's go to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
Joey, I'm only 61. I'm not the 70 that the other gentleman is, but I've heard all my life that Democrats get us into those wars and Republicans pull us out. And like him, I'm not sure how accurate that is.
Yeah, except for W and Cheney and all them. But
exactly.
Right. Hey,
But
Reagan and Trump are pretty darn good.
this country, as we know it, is roughly 250 years old. And what's going on over there has been going on since there was an over there, or has been an over there, fighting among themselves, or whether it was one nation after another, or Saul trying to chase down David. And as we must remember, the first brother killed the second brother. So this sort of thing has been ongoing since man has walked the earth. And I realize it brings our continents down, but
yeah,
God is still sovereign. He still has providence, no matter the situation over there, and no matter who we elect. And hand wringing, and I'm guilty of hand wringing from time to time, but we can pray.
Yeah.
And unless we suit up and go over there, there's not much else we can do.
Yeah, I don't lose sleep over it at night. But, when I do, I find, for lack of a better word, these things interesting, these sort of world events. And sometimes they go from interesting and, all the smart people talking about all the different angles to it's just, like I keep saying, frickin' sad.
It is. My father was the fourth son of 4 sons, the 8th of 10 children. He was born in 1923 and enlisted in August of 1940, which would have been his senior year at Marbury High School here in Autauga County. But instead, he enlisted and ultimately wound up in North Africa. So, and one of the stories that he used to tell while he was over there, and how he wound up in, I guess, Jerusalem. That's where the Wailing Wall is it not?
Mm-hmm.
According to what he told me, he actually wrote his name on the Wailing Wall, which is probably, I'm not sure if it's still there, if it's been painted over 100 times. But
wow. Different. You don't hear stories like that every day. That's a generational thing right there.
You
Wow.
got that right, brother. But we were 40 years apart. He was 40 when I was born. I had 2 older brothers, and my mother had a previous marriage had 2 daughters, so I had 2 older sisters. They weren't all quite teenagers when I was born, but as I grew up here, they were all teenagers. So I had their watchful eyes and my parents' watchful eyes, and the in-laws from the first marriage. So there was 8 sets of, did I do my math right, Joey? Yeah, that's 4 times 2 is still 8, right?
Right.
But anyhow,
No, you're right. God is still in control no matter what man does. Here, I got one more call here before the break. I appreciate the call, Jim.
Joey, have a nice day.
272-9228. Joe, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm wondering, where is Germany? Where is the European Union? Where is the UN? These seem to be the world elite. These seem to be the ones who want to influence our country and everything around them. And these are the ones that seem to be the one world government coming up. Where are they?
It's a good question. They are very much in the camp of let's have peace now, like a peace that will later be broken and break out into war. But let's have peace again.
They're hanging us out to dry. That's what they're doing. These are the bad guys.
Well, you better believe it. The globalists are the bad guys at the end of the day. Absolutely.
And we're being duped. People have got to realize who the enemy really is. This is Satan, all the way down the line.
Well, I appreciate the call, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
272-9228. Yeah, there's part of me that's just like, it didn't have to be this way is what keeps coming back to my mind. I think in particular, the more I try to study, the more I try to listen to all sorts of different voices on this conflict that's been ongoing. Let's say, let's not go back thousands of years. So it has been going on time immemorial. Let's start post-World War II. What I've seen is people completely stuck in a back and forth in a dynamic that won't go away. It was making things worse. And so the idea was, well, let's get out of that dynamic. Let's stop having the same argument that resolves nothing. Let's go around that same argument and let's try to build up peace in a different way. And it was working. It was going to work. And the Biden administration screwed it up. And I do want to know, because there isn't a good explanation, what the heck happened with the security failures on October 7th. Didn't have to be this way, but here we are. The White House says Biden and Harris are monitoring the situation from the Situation Room. Makes you feel safe and warm and fuzzy, right? No, still sad. Hey, the only thing that'll make you happy, somebody fixing up your plumbing. And James Cold Plumbing can help you do just that. Whether it's an everyday plumbing problem, like the kitchen sink is all clogged up, or low water pressure, like just a little trickle coming down from the shower head, they can fix those issues for you. Maybe you got a tree root invasion where you're flushing the toilet and it's coming up in the shower drain. Or it could be you have a massive leak. Well, the beauty of it is that Cold Plumbing, they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you and your home to get in there and solve the problem with precision and expertise without having to tear out a bunch of drywall inside or dig up a huge hole or trench outside. With precision and expertise, they can get the job done. Maybe you don't really have a problem other than you want nicer things. You want to upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system or brand new taller toilet or new accessories in the bathroom or kitchen. They can help you with all of that there at Cold Plumbing. So check them out today. You can always go to coldplumbing.com. You can actually make an appointment online there at coldplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott. Iran has begun firing missiles over the entirety of Israel, and the Israeli military ordering residents to remain close to bomb shelters as air raid sirens sounding across the country. Israel and the United States have warned there would be severe consequences in the event of an attack on Israel from Iran, which backs the terrorist group Hezbollah in Lebanon. These air raid alerts in Israel came a day after Israel said it had begun limited ground operations against the terrorist group in southern Lebanon. U.S. ships and aircraft are positioned in the Mideast region to assist Israel in the event of an attack against Iran. This has been an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text prepare to 989898. That's prepare to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to October. Our nice weather pattern continues for now. Mostly sunny, comfortable humidity today with a high temperature up to about 86. Mainly clear, comfortably cool tonight. Overnight low 67. Tomorrow and Thursday, more of the same. Sunshine will dominate. We'll be in the upper 80s both days. Then the risk of scattered showers holding off, I think, till Thursday night into Friday with a front nearby. Cooler Friday with a high near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Governor Kay Ivey has activated an Alabama National Guard team to assist areas of North Carolina most heavily impacted by Hurricane Helene. Alabama's 13-member Fatality Search and Recovery Team joins other first responders from the state to assist the search and rescue mission in North Carolina. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed gave an update on the 4-month search for a new police chief on Monday. Reed said they have more than 40 applicants and a selection committee will be formed to carefully look at each candidate. The mayor expects Montgomery's new police chief to be named within the next 2 months. Over 1,000 residents are without water in Macon County. Officials say the outage is due to a water pump failure. Residents in part of the county will be without water for several days, according to the county EMA and Water Authority, as work is done to repair the pump. 1,400 Macon County residents are currently affected. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And we go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. And, oh, wow, a breath of fresh air just walked in. Getting all sad looking at the news, the breaking news, but I'm now happy now just from our off-air conversation. Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage now here in the studio. How you doing, Madeline?
Well, good. I'm glad I can be a ray of sunshine.
Yes. Well, I mean, so life's good in general before we get into business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, other than everything that's going on in the news, like you said, there's a lot to be heavy-hearted about today.
Yeah, I'm not going to let it bring me down.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else.
So when it comes to what y'all do, especially I know y'all are great in helping out veterans take advantage of VA home loan programs. Are there any opportunities out there, especially given rates have come down a bit?
Right. So those that either purchased a home through the VA loan program or refinanced a home through the VA, I would say from June of 2023 through the end of last year, maybe even through the spring of this year, rates have come down. So there is a VA interest rate refinance reduction loan. We call it EARL for short because that's such a mouthful, but essentially it's for veterans who already have a VA mortgage. that they can refinance to take advantage of a better interest rate without being troubled with an appraisal, without income verification. It's a very streamlined process. We've got a lot of those happening right now. I've got one closing today that we were able to lower her interest rate by nearly 2 percentage points, saving her hundreds of dollars a month. And the best part of it all is we submitted it on a Monday, got a clear to close in 48 hours.
Wow. Now that is quick turnaround.
That's right. So it's a fast program. Like I said, it's for those veterans who already have a VA mortgage with good pay. As long as we can lower your interest rate by 0.5 percentage point and you can recoup your closing costs within 36 months, the VA says there is a benefit to the veteran to refinance.
Oh, what are y'all waiting for? Like,
right,
and
let's
if
go.
somebody's like wondering, does that apply to me? Like, at my age, they can just call you up and ask, right?
That's exactly right. Pick up your mortgage statement. Give us a call at 567-4223. And if the VA IRRRL program is not an option for you, then I'm sure we've got something else that can save you some money.
Well, and I've been saying the rate's going to be different for each person, folks, depending on your credit score and all sorts of other factors. But given that rates are coming down and you've maybe been waiting to make a decision based on rates, even if you're still sitting on the fence, call up Kim and Madeline here.
That's right.
And just talk it through. Here's potentially what the goal, especially with the refinance right now.
That's absolutely right. And we have people that, call us routinely every 3 to 6 months. They go, hey, just want check in again, make sure there's not an opportunity to save some money here. And we don't mind that at all. We're actually happy that people have us saved in their phones and give us a call because you never know. This industry is ever changing. And we always like to check in with everybody to make sure that you're not missing any savings.
And y'all's turnaround time, I mean, that was a special case you just mentioned. But like with just general refis, y'all are still turning around very quickly, right?
Yes, our average turn time is less than 16 business days.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
2 weeks, essentially, folks.
That's right. So if we get started today, we can close it before the end of the month. You'll skip November's payment. You won't have a payment due until December. And you'll start out the new year with your new lower mortgage payment.
And, of course, we always say call 567-4223, but folks can actually kind of fill out applications online, right?
Yeah, we understand people are busy and are at work. And so if you can't reach us during business hours, you're more than welcome to complete an application at your leisure on our website at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
Cool. Well, do you want to stick around for a second?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
keep you some company.
Again, folks, that's Alabama Home Mortgage. There is a difference in mortgage companies, 567-4223, or again at the web, myalabamahomemortgage.com, NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. So you going to watch this debate tonight?
Maybe. I didn't miss the last one. Maybe I should have.
Yeah, I was screaming at the TV.
Yeah.
It was infuriating. I don't know about this one.
Well, it's being hosted by the same cats, right, on ABC?
I don't know if it's ABC or CNN. See, I haven't even looked at it. That's how seriously I'm taking the V debate.
Yeah.
Let's look it up real quick. Because, of course, it's going to be Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Funnel
Old
cake
Tampon
dad.
Tim.
Yeah, and CBS.
CBS. Okay, well, we were both wrong.
Yeah, CBS then.
Okay.
All right then. And
Who's moderating it? Do we know?
it'll be CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Nora O'Donnell. Oh, God. And Face the Nation moderator and chief foreign affairs correspondent Margaret Brennan. Yeah, whatever.
We don't stand a fair chance, do we?
I'm thinking J.D. Vance is going to hold his own. Now, who knows what's going to happen and how much of a difference does this sort of thing make? Who knows? But it is the theater of it.
Right.
And in particular, J.D. Vance has shown he seems to be a little more message disciplined and nimble on his feet than his boss,
Right.
Donald Trump. And Tim Walz there's a comedian named Tim Dillon who said it, as soon as Walz was picked, that he's funnel cake dad. And I can just see it.
Yeah.
You're at the fair and he's like, hey, you kids ever tried a fried Twinkie? Like, it's just, he seems like he's giving off that funnel cake dad energy.
Well, I think he certainly is trying to be folksy and like a man of the
Yes.
people. And I don't know that it's really landing very well. I know he went to the Michigan game over the weekend and that wasn't very well received. So,
Well, and there are folks saying he's been lying about all sorts of things.
right. His military record, his relations with China.
Here's the new one. Tim Walz said he was in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre. He was actually at home in Nebraska.
I mean,
Well, Tiananmen Square, Hong Kong,
what's the difference?
Nebraska. There's no huge difference between all. That's ridiculous.
They just write their own stories.
But it was apparently in a 2014 congressional hearing marking the 25th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. Tim Walz, then a congressman representing Minnesota's 1st District, recalled being in Hong Kong when the Chinese Communist Party crushed the student protests that had roiled the country since mid-April of 1989. The unforgettable crackdown came on June 4th of that year. I was just going to teach high school in Foshan and Guangdong or whatever, and was in Hong Kong in May of 89, he said. And as the events were unfolding, several of us went in, and I still remember the train station in Hong Kong. There was a large number of, especially European, I think, very angry that we would still go after what had happened, but it was my belief at the time that the diplomacy was going to happen on many levels. That anecdote has since been repeated without scrutiny by the New York Times, CBS News, who's hosting the debate tonight, and NPR, among others. In reality, local news reports show that Walz was at home in Nebraska in May and June of 89 as protests convulsed China, and the government responded in a heavy-handed way. He wouldn't depart for China until August of that year. So, Tim he just can't get his story straight one way or the other.
He and Kamala both, that's probably back when she was working at McDonald's.
She was asked, she's like, I worked the fries. Yeah. Also, not good signs. Like, okay, every battleground poll, again, the polls condition the polls like, there's a reason they pay for internal polling, and then you get this public polling. If the public polling was so good, they wouldn't pay for internal polling in these campaigns. So all the publicly available ones are essentially showing ties in all these battleground states. Some showed Trump winning, some show Kamala winning, but you put them all together, it's kind of a tie all over the place. But then you look at the breakdown where Trump is apparently in the polling getting more support from the Hispanic community, historic support for a Republican. He's getting more support from the black community, more so than any Republican before. He's now also getting huge support amongst union members.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed on CNN a statistic yesterday where it's something like a 30-point advantage for Trump for folks who like work with their hands, like actual tradesmen and technical folks. So you see that breakdown, how Trump is making inroads. I guess he is that unpopular with women where this thing is still tied.
I just don't believe that.
You don't think all this is real?
No. But, I mean, it wasn't real in 2016.
That's true.
When they showed Hillary Clinton leading by leaps and bounds.
That is true. And as people are thinking about the working man, how, the lunch pail voter, the hard hat voter is going to vote in November, there's this big thing called the port strike.
Yeah.
And apparently it's over wages and automation.
Yeah, AI. They say within the next 10 years that AI will replace all their jobs. It's some 45,000 port workers.
And I kind of believe them.
Yeah.
Given the pace of where things are going with AI and with automation. You can see some of the state-of-the-art stuff. So Elon Musk gigafactories for Tesla are remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one he built in Texas is like 3 Pentagons.
Yeah, and he's the one who really warned everybody and said, we've got to be careful with this. It can be used for good, or it can make it where we all are out of work and war to the state.
So which effects could happen? Because it's a little bit of a tail here. I think it's like a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like 40% of American consumer goods could be affected by this.
Yeah.
So let's see,
they're saying it's going to be worse than the COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good.
Affecting the supply chain from paper products to laundry detergent.
Wait, are we going back to the whole TP scare?
I think so. When I drove by, Sam's Club was packed. Yeah. So.
Luckily, I stocked up the other day. But don't buy all of it.
Yeah. Well, and the unions have said that they have enough money set aside to cover these workers' wages and expenses for X amount of time. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But consumers might soon notice that it's harder to find products like bananas, electronics, and booze even.
Yeah.
Now that dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas are officially on strike. As of Tuesday, 36 East and Gulf Coast ports have shut down as 45,000 union workers walked off the job after labor negotiations stalled. It's the first strike the International Longshoremen's Association has put on since 1977. And it could become one of the greatest supply chain disruptions since, as you just said, Madeline, COVID-19. So we could go through, what are all the different products that are now potentially going to be off the shelves for a few weeks. Now, maybe they could settle this quickly. I don't know.
Well, I think if anything, they're proving the point that AI could help the industry, and that AI is not going to walk off the job. AI is not going to demand bigger wages.
True. That is very true. And one in robots. I mean, somebody just walked in who knows all about them robots building stuff. We'll get to him in a second. First, I want to hit this break. Before I do, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And Bo and the team there at the Goodson Group are ready to help you out whether you're looking to buy or sell in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for nearly 50 years now. So it means he's seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he's gained a lot of knowledge and experience over those years. So it's not just if you're looking to buy or sell here in this real estate market. He can help you if you're looking to convert something to a rental. So you got to move and you don't want to sell. It's a great idea to turn that liability into a performing asset. And in the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed in the great state of Alabama. And the proof is all the folks that went on, graduated from Bo's course, and found great success, whether it's fully licensed realtors, it's a great way to study up for a real estate license test, or as more knowledgeable private players. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson, the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
We have that time of year where storms roll through. A lot of times we're seeing a lot of power outages, in which we do install whole home generators.
You can keep your power on, absolutely. Generators.
Peace of mind knowing you always got standby power. About 30 seconds where you don't have power, those generators kick back on like nothing ever happened. When storms roll in, sometimes the lights go out. But here at Mr. Electric, we'll never leave you in the dark.
It's the electric power to make things better.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
To become a NATO member, a country has to agree to two basic things. And one is to spend at least 2% of their GDP on national defense.
Doing something a little bit different this week, I talk with Ron McBay. He's with the Alabama National Guard. He was in Eastern Europe recently representing NATO. Listen to What's Working Saturday noon or find us online at whatsworkingcam.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Crazy news day. In a second, we'll get into some of the items that might be affected by this port strike. But welcoming into the show, somebody's honking at us out in the parking lot.
What'd you call me?
How you doing, Honky?
I've had better days, brother. But I had a goal was to come see you, and so I'm here. And
Yeah.
get my drugs out of here.
Because you're going through it right now.
Man, I'm telling you, I shingles, and not to lay it all on the table. I just didn't know shingles was this. My wife had it, and I know it was tough, but it wasn't. Right. Last night, it felt like I was constantly getting hit by a car all night long. And you know how you seen those videos, and you did it when you was a kid, when you'd wreck, you'd like run away from the pain. You'd try.
Yeah.
I bet I walked 20 miles last night, just walking, pacing,
Just trying to
get my mind off of it.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's awful. And I couldn't drink it away either. I tried that too. You
Yeah.
just ended up being the drunk walking around.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you sending stuff from family there in Israel.
Amazing, man. That stuff
Iron
started
Dome
coming in
works.
this morning, and I was a little bit hesitant, but I needs to know. It's just
Well, it looks like the military about a while ago said you're free to leave shelter. Iran launched 181 ballistic missiles.
Wow.
Israel is claiming cruise missiles also sent that way. Iran saying if you respond, we'll do something crushing, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I don't think that's getting any better.
No, I don't think so.
And so what do you think of this port strike? I mean, because you've literally done factory manufacturing work. You've seen the technological changes, I imagine, too.
Yeah.
So you think these folks have got a point?
A little bit, but just like when they talk about it in automotive, we're going to replace everything with robots. That only, that's a great theory, but in actuality, robots break and, things happen. So you can have a mix of the two, a hybrid. And I know they're doing it for job security and things like that. And I know a lot of people have seen that union boss and thought, that's everybody's opinion. It's not.
Yeah,
you have extremists on both sides,
Sure.
and that's what he does. By the way, he's got like an 84-foot yacht, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
That guy.
union
So
boss.
just
See, I've had this argument with Eddie. It's
clear
like
that
you
up.
trade one boss for another.
Right. Just clear that up. So, but I do worry about it because of the timing factor. And look at the leadership we got.
Well, and I think this is why you're seeing union members go to Trump. I think this
No
is
doubt.
all kind of in the works.
And you brought that up earlier, but that's something I thought on early on in the election campaign. At the end of the day, union members are Americans. They feel the pinch at the pump and everything else like everybody else, and they realize what weak leadership we got. Why they again, the extremists, you want everything for free, but they know there's a sense of reality. And honestly, it goes back to, were you better off 4 years ago? Most people were.
So items that may experience shortages and higher prices. This is from Chris Tang, distinguished professor at the University of California.
Oh, okay.
War Eagle. Gracious.
The one game I
wait,
won
no.
this year.
Wait, no. University of California, Los Angeles. Okay, UCLA. Never mind. Well, not the same school at all. But still, War Eagle. We suck this year.
Yes, God, it's awful.
So items that may experience shortages and higher prices include seafood, perishable products like cod from Iceland or Canada, and shrimp from Thailand and Ecuador aren't easily transported by train because they need to be refrigerated.
What's wrong with the shrimps we got here?
I agree.
We got freshwater.
We got
and
Gulf
saltwater
shrimp,
right?
yeah.
I ain't so worried about that one.
Electronics, cell phones, and computers, which now come from the Southeast Asian nations like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand instead of China, are routed through East Coast ports.
Yep.
Pharmaceuticals.
That's a big one. That's what still bothers me.
Oh.
Even after COVID, we still import most of our pharmaceuticals.
Although these are easier to ship via air, yeah, no kidding, consumers may still notice a drug shortage if negotiations can't be settled within about a month. So they can probably pay a little extra to get it in.
Oh,
but
sure.
it starts becoming a huge problem if you're flying everything in.
Suddenly it's a commodity on drugs. We can do a black market.
It is amazing for all the technological progress in the few generations of just say this nation. The truism about waterways being the cheapest way to ship things continues to be dominant. car and auto parts.
You bet. In and out.
European cars shipped via container and auto parts often pass through East Coast and Gulf Coast ports. Oh, that might affect Alabama's whole manufacturing backbone.
Yes, it will. We get parts that way, and we receive and send parts out that way.
But I'll tell you what, once this is all like said and done, the negotiations are over, and we got that bigger port now, we're going to be humming.
But that's the thing. Right now, you got to remember, this is all just hype. It's like hype before the big game. So the guys, the people that come to the table actually have to do something.
The East Coast ports surpass others in the U.S. in shipment of machinery, fabricated steel, and precision instruments. So machinery parts, that's not good. Alcohol, wine, beer, and spirits imported from Europe, South America.
No big deal. We got our own liquor
What's
here.
wrong with the beer we got?
That's right. We got our own liquor here. We good.
Drink pretty good, don't it?
I thought so.
God rest his soul. I love that guy. And bananas. About 75% of the nation's bananas enter through East Coast and Gulf Coast ports. Huh.
Be all right.
Moreover, because the fruit is perishable, it's not economical for them to be shipped on planes.
That's all right.
Will holiday shopping be affected? That is the most, I'm sorry, that is the most boomer headline I've ever read.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm stealing this from Tim Dillon, where somebody asks, like, a boomer, like grandfather or parent, like, what do you think about the conflict in Israel and Palestine? Their response is like, well, I'm worried it's going to mess with my travel to Italy. Hey, have you tried the crab cakes? Like, they just, it's all about them.
Somebody was booking a trip to Jamaica this morning when all this went down.
They did say that the Christmas tree market was going to be affected, artificial trees, that is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That they're not going to be able to.
Because we got our own trees.
Well,
Yeah.
North
real
Carolina,
trees.
you get a lot of trees out of North Carolina, and
damn.
man, they took a hit. So,
And that's not getting any better.
Nope. Finally getting some attention though.
Finally. But, if you're looking for toys for Christmas and other gifts for children, you might be SOL for the moment. While large corporations like Walmart and Costco can afford to take inventories early and store them or absorb the cost of rerouting shipments to the West Coast, smaller businesses typically can't. As a result, quote, some businesses could miss out on critical holiday supplies entirely. Oh, damn. Now, again, this is if this thing lasts a long time.
Why do you think that the union is not supporting Trump when a majority of their members are?
I can tell you. And that's funny because the majority of their members have been that way from the get-go. But the unions have become nothing more than a political party. And the person that's running it is a puppet of every single one of them.
They're another arm
They do
of the
not
Democratic
represent
Party.
their membership. And I long for the day when their members, because all you got to do is go tell your steward, hey, I'm out. That's all you got to do. You got to hit them in the paycheck. Once enough members says, hey, I'm done, it'll get their attention.
Yeah, then the union ceased to exist. Yeah.
But it won't even go that far. It'll force that change of leadership.
That's right.
It absolutely force that change of leadership.
No, it would almost be like it's been such an institutional part of the Democratic Party for generations now. It would almost be like, say, the moral majority and evangelicals have always supported Republicans. If they actually, say somebody who is like truly a God-fearing Christian, convincingly so, ran as a Democrat somehow, changed the party, and you saw them shifting to that person, it would be that dramatic of a shift. And we'll see. But I think your point about the leadership is absolutely
big time.
right.
They're not, and it's been that way for a while. But here it is out in the open now. I mean, no more hiding it. It's and again, man, that news comes out every 2 weeks. All you got to do is tell your steward, "No, I'm out."
Let's go to Electrobama. Hey, Electrobama, how you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Good.
So how do you know? Oh, turn this. Stand by.
You still there?
I'm still here. It's my phone call.
You need us to come back to you? What's up, man?
I'm still here. If you can hear me, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you know if a Democrat is a actual God-fearing Christian? I mean, how do you know that they're
You don't really know somebody's heart, but, you're either convinced or not.
Okay. I don't know if there's some sort of test or something that you got.
Well, it depends on whether or not you're part of the one true Catholic Apostolic Church. Oh, wait. No, that's a different. Sorry to all my Protestant friends.
So I was going to say about the comparing the foreign policy and when people try things of different administrations. I don't know what it comes down to. Maybe there's an attitude of we won't take any or something, or nobody knew what Trump was going to do. Except that people didn't know how to butter him up. He sure has some issues. Because he sure loved Kim Jong-un, loved Kim Jong-un, and Vladimir Putin. Just adored them. So,
wait, what do you mean he just adored them?
Has he ever said anything bad about Vladimir Putin?
No, generally he doesn't.
Yeah.
So thus he adores him.
Well, he took his conclusion over the conclusion of our intelligence agencies.
Okay.
And he did it, and he sat there and just did it publicly.
Why do we always reflexively trust our own intelligence agencies? Especially when that intelligence was being used to try to, frame Trump for treason for about 2 years.
Well, was it a frame?
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
a frame.
you can look at weak stuff, and I can look at strong stuff. His kind of.
If it wasn't a frame, he would be out of there. It would have been in prison.
I think we should all be alarmed that Zelensky's out stumping with Kamala. If he really cared about his people, he would want Trump in office because Putin fears Trump.
Oh goodness, is he out stumping with Kamala?
Oh yeah, he's been out.
They were touring weapons factories in Pennsylvania as the governor, Josh Shapiro, was signing weapons.
Okay.
But money talks.
Yep.
Well, I got to invite Trump. Money talks. So, weapons manufacturing. That's what you're saying. Okay. So the Ukrainians rebelled against their Vladimir Putin puppet in 2014, and then he took over Crimea, and we did some stupid things as far as like saying that we were going to put them in NATO without actually doing it right at the moment, which kind of opened up the idea of he would cause a little bit of a civil war inside their territory, which is what he does all across. But I think we should defend democracies in Europe, and I think we've done that since World War II against dictatorships. Anyway, I was going to get to the point of...
wait. How did... Yeah, okay, we defended democracy in Europe, right? Right, yeah. As Stalin took over the whole eastern part of Europe.
Yeah, and then
the Cold
Reagan,
War, right.
Reagan pushed him out of that. I mean, pushed the communists out of there.
And then we won the Cold War. Why, 20 years after the Cold War is won, are we back at essentially something even more dangerous than the Cold War? Seems like somebody screwed up something in the interim.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but Vladimir Putin controls Vladimir Putin, and whether or not he's going to be a, imperialist.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the call as always.
All right. Thank you.
272-9228. Always enjoy our calls from our favorite Democrat, Electrobama. Again, 272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's us? Okay, nobody then. Well, that's just rude. You call up here, and then you chicken out right as I'm about to talk to you. I'm not going to bite your head off.
Didn't like that attitude.
Well, maybe I don't like theirs. I can feel it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Maybe they were going to make the same point as the last caller.
Maybe.
No. Okay. Let's see who this is. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is the guy that chickened out on you. And the reason I did that was because there was a bad connection and I believed you were better than that.
Oh,
Well, I forgive you. Actually, I apologize. Both of them.
No, that's fine. I perception's a large part of reality. So, you do intimidate me a little bit, young Joey, but, I didn't finish college like you did, but I don't want to sound like that guy with a mustache. Hey, let me see if you guys got the same impression I did. I heard the announcement. I don't know if it was a press conference, but the guy that's the president of the Teamsters,
Yeah.
he got up and told us just what was going to happen. And I've been in and out of my truck. You may have already played this recording, but dude, I felt like I was on The Godfather. I felt like
You're gonna
I felt
pay.
like I was getting mobbed up here. You know what I mean? It's just like yeah, we're going to protect your storefront here. Windows can get broken if you don't
Pretty much.
you don't pay me.
That's kind of how I heard it too.
Now, is this the
That's the
same
way
guy
I
that
heard
spoke at the RNC?
I don't think so. Because this guy just looks so over the top.
Okay,
Union-
okay, it
I
must have
mean,
been somebody
yeah.
different then.
I think so. I don't think it's the same guy. He
what
kind of
was on
reminded
the
me of.
water?
Well, he's a longshoreman representative.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was about to say. I expected Carl Malden to come bouncing out. But it just really, you know what? Until I heard that guy, I was like, okay, well, I'm open. Maybe these guys do need a break. They're not going to get nothing from me, man. I mean, you're threatening other people's jobs and stuff, and you're wanting me to support you. Nothing doing.
Okay,
And I just wanted to make sure.
I found it. I think the clip you're
that's the one.
referring to. And, I'm not certain, but it's the quote from it is, "I will cripple you."
Yes, I believe that is what he said. Yes.
All right.
I know. I mean, where's Joe Pesci when you need him, man? Golly. This guy. Yeah, go ahead and play that. And I just wanted to make sure I was hearing it the same way you guys heard.
Well, East, I appreciate you, even if you didn't go to college.
He didn't finish.
I
Just didn't
did,
finish.
but not like you. All right. We'll talk to you.
See you, East.
Yeah, let's play this. Let's see
All right.
what this is all about.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets.
Okay, already, just from
My
the
men hit the streets.
Look at the chain. Look at the chain on the man.
He does have a gold chain. That's like
He's got some rope. That ain't just a chain.
Okay, well, let me tell you too.
Right.
Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
You don't know.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, "I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you." Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
I love that cheerful music at the end there. Wow.
Tell them like it is. I'll cripple you. I hate to say this, but when you have strikes like that and it does start to take any kind of, hold, they just bring in some temporary workers. And
Right. And then they start installing the robots.
yeah, it's just that much faster. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the guy's passion, though. I mean, he's old school union guy.
That's
He's gonna
very
bust some
old
heads.
school.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got a pipe in his back seat.
No, I
that he
want to
hits
know
people
how
over the
many
head with.
bodies he's helped, shuttle into the bay.
But we're okay with everybody else losing their jobs as long as we keep ours.
Right.
Well, we owe him. Because during COVID, while everybody else was at home, that's what he said,
Yeah.
we were still working. We was dying on the pier.
We was dying over here.
I didn't know Eddie was from Boston.
Well, when I heard that last night, like while everybody was off, we were still working. We was dying on the piers. I was like, what? That would have made some kind of headline, wouldn't it? That
Yeah.
the longshoremen are dying on the piers of COVID because they're still working.
Yeah.
He's a little over the top.
Wow, but if that's the point, guy?
Nah, no, come on. That's their what's that? Major Taylor Green girl. That's their version of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like their bulldog.
Yeah.
All right.
They just put him out there, and then they got a softie back there.
Let me hear it again.
Let me explain something to you.
Yeah?
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Oh.
It's not a strike either. Strike. With an extra K in there.
Wow. We got to hit a break here, but this part of the program brought to you by, again, Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they are a full-service jewelry shop. That means they have an incredible selection, including those crosses I talked about earlier. If you're looking for some hope,
yeah,
it comes from, let's say, a higher place. These crosses are a great reminder, and they're absolutely gorgeous, really beautiful work. But maybe you want some custom design work done. Josh Ryder at Dillon Rings can help you in that regard. Maybe you want to look through that selection from the high end to, say, the everyday jewelry. Leslie is ready there to help you. It could be you want a repair done, including a watch repair. That's how good Josh is. Or it could be you're looking for a cleaning, like a spa treatment, as they call it, to make that older jewelry shine and shimmer like it's brand new again. They even do appraisals, pearl stringing. Again, they're a full-service jewelry shop. So check them out today. You can always go to DillonRings.com or search Dillon Rings on the Book of Faces or on Instagram. But I really encourage you to stop by their showroom, brand new renovated showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And, be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
You've waited all year, and finally, it's here.
People come from miles around, from the farms and from the towns, to where excitement will be found in the Alabama National Fair.
Join us opening Friday, October 4th, and get in for $1 when you bring a non-perishable food item for the food bank. But the fun doesn't stop there. All rides will only be $1 each. $1 to get in, $1 to ride. That means you can come back a second time and experience all the fair has to offer. Opening weekend also brings you in concert Drew Hill, Saturday night at 7 p.m. Presented by Hyundai Motor Manufacturing of Alabama. Get there early for a great seat. This year's fair has 2 Mondays. That means 2 school days where everybody gets in for only $10. Don't miss it. Dollar Night, Friday night, October the 4th, opening night. And all the rides will be $1. Your wait is finally over. Join us at Garrett Coliseum for the great food, the fun, the rides, the agricultural exhibits, and all the free shows.
It's the best 11 days of fall.
You probably know lots of people you trust to mow your lawn or wash your car. But when it comes to electrical work, you're picky. And you should be. See, electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. The sad truth is, each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. Crosby Electric has been serving the river region for almost 50 years. Their technicians are held to the highest standards in the profession. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, rigorous drug testing, continuous education, and safety training. The technicians at Crosby are specialists. They don't do plumbing. They don't fix air conditioners. They simply provide superior electric service in a safe and timely manner. Don't take chances. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us online at crosbyelectric.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to October. Our nice weather pattern continues for now. Mostly sunny, comfortable humidity today with a high temperature up to about 86. Mainly clear, comfortably cool tonight. Overnight low 67. Tomorrow and Thursday, more of the same. Sunshine will dominate. We'll be in the upper 80s both days. Then the risk of scattered showers holding off, I think, till Thursday night into Friday with a front nearby. Cooler Friday with a high near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Have you heard the news? Capital Tractor will soon be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. With lots of Kubota inventory, we're going to sell it instead of move it. Our big moving sale is a great time to get a great deal on a Kubota at Capital Tractor in Montgomery.
Fox's new drama, Murder in a Small Town, is a must-watch mystery.
They found the body.
Tonight, for new Chief of Police Carl Alber, this quaint small town has charming streets.
Keep your doors and windows locked.
Friendly faces.
I'm warning you. Get the hell out of here.
And dark secrets.
There's someone out there. Someone watching.
It's the new hit drama, Murder in a Small Town.
Tonight on Fox 20.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Apparently CNN has picked up that whole Tim Walz lie.
Oh, yeah?
That we were talking about earlier. He said, Eddie, I don't know if you caught this, that he was in Hong Kong when all the Tiananmen Square stuff went down. No, he was close, but he was in Nebraska.
Not that close.
He didn't go to Hong Kong until August of that year.
No, come on, Joey. If they say it, it makes it so.
Right. I have learned that.
Well, and then the next move is like, why do you care about it so much? Why do you care?
Obviously,
You're
they care.
obsessed.
They're the ones making the stories up.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kellyanne Conway putting out a suggestion. Good old Kellyanne. She thinks Trump will end up doing a second debate. Good idea? Bad idea?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, why not? I like the debate. I mean,
yeah, but who's going to be the venue? Because that last debate had my blood pressure up. I was cursing like a longshoreman.
Joe Rogan.
Rogan?
She would never agree to that.
I know.
You that.
I agree, but they seem to put out terms of everything, and Trump always agrees to it. Why can't we lay out some terms and say, hey, I mean, she's the one that's actually pushing for the debate, was going to do the whole sign up above Bryant Denny that said, hey, so let's put it to her. All right, we'll debate you. Joe Rogan, who has openly said he doesn't support Trump, he does call her an idiot, but, come on, some moderates, somebody that I know doesn't work for CNN or MSNBC.
I just don't think Trump has anything to gain from doing another debate.
Okay.
That's just my own personal opinion. I don't think that he will change anybody's mind. Because the people who watch the debates are typically going to be politicos like you and I. They're not the everyday American.
Right.
And they're just going to see the clips of whatever the mainstream media puts out the following day.
But
and of course, they're going to shine a good light on Kamala. So.
I want my leaders to debate. I want to see what my leaders look like under pressure. I don't want to find out once they're in office that they're weak. So the only way we can test it, as far as I'm concerned, is you have to see them go head to head with somebody.
You are a rude, terrible person.
I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
No, we've got plenty of examples of how Trump is.
Shut up, silly woman.
But to your point, you're right. I don't think he will bring anybody over further to his side. I agree. I agree. The risk is mostly on him. However, I still want to see it.
So in the pain you're in right now, you're going to watch Walz and Vance debate? Yeah.
I might, because it'll take some my mind off of it for a minute. But I know I'm going to get very frustrated, because I feel like whatever one side says, the other one's going to be. I grew up in a middle class family with my dad loved the lawn. I don't think there's going to be any seriousness going back and forth.
Yeah.
I ran into John at the grocery store and we talked about his son, Timmy. I mean, they all make up these stories every time to fit whatever it is that they're wanting to.
And they always have one handy.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So before I go to the next story, it's more a cultural thing about like body image. Plastic surgeons are saying a certain new look is in.
Okay.
We'll get to that. I want to see who this is on line 3. He's been hanging out. Hey, you're on there. Who's this?
Hey guys, thanks. I have been hanging out. I first tuned in when you was talking about overseas stuff, but I've been in a union, and I've been in the union a while. I got asked to be a union steward a couple of times, but anyway, I would like to tell the longshoremen, you know, the biggest part of being in the union is the threat of going on strike. Once you go on strike, then everybody starts crunching numbers. And you keep voting in Democrats that only let 10 million people in. But I also know about automation. We're all kind of scared about that stuff.
Sure.
And then let me jump to another subject. I agree with the young lady. She pushed back against, I can't remember what it was now. I got brain locked.
Trump doing the second debate?
We're talking about debates and stuff, but this is my original reason I called, was talking about Iran and what's going on over in Israel. You know, if Iran can use proxies, right? Like, they have nothing to do with it, and then want to retaliate if one of their proxies gets hammered. Isn't that the same thing with the United States and Israel? In other words, I love Israel, and I think a whole lot of tension will come off the entire world if we just demolish their nuclear capabilities.
Yeah.
Because
no.
It's just follow me here. The reason is the Ayatollahs came in the 70s, and they've just been creating havoc a long time. They hate America. They burn our flag. They're just irate. You see what I'm saying?
You've been watching too much Fox News, and now you've been possessed by Lindsey Graham. I appreciate the call, though. Thank you, sir. And actually, to his point, the U.S. said we coordinated with the IDF and to help defend, which, in terms of interventions, pretty good one. Shooting down missiles, I don't mind that.
Don't mind that at all. But I can't help but see dollars to dollars crashing in the air. Dollars.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
My name is Susie, and I have a message for Eddie about shingles, if it's possible.
Okay.
Speak with him.
Well, you're on there now, and Eddie's listening, so just go ahead.
Yes, Eddie. We've talked before about property values.
Yes, ma'am.
I checked with James had shingles some time back, and he was given a cortisone cream, hydrocortisone, and they say that sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. It did not help him, but I also called the herb shop, and they have a product called V as in Victor, S as in Sam, G as in good, and they think that might help. If you wanted to try something, thought I'd just pass it on and wish you well with it.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Appreciate the call. Thank you for the advice.
Bye now.
VSG cream.
Yep.
So the headline I'm looking at.
Hold on. Next time you come, you need to sit there all the time. Look how much beautiful she looks on camera. She always does, but that camera is really good.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, look.
thank you.
It looks like, honest to God, it looks like the filter's on. There is no filter.
It looks like somebody was kicking you in the pills all night.
I'm looking at me going, oof, pick me up on the side of the road or something.
And I've also got it on purpose skewed, so I've got it framed because he is feeling badly. Yeah, like
it's messing with me bad. I keep looking over. Oh, there I am. But by the way, you look very radiant. Look
Well,
at that.
thank you.
It
Thank
looks like
you.
a filter on there.
Quite beautiful.
Well, maybe this is the good camera. And that's
Apparently
the
it
bad
is.
camera.
Joey's.
I'll take all the help I
so
get.
much, but yeah.
Now, like I got to read this because I really want to get your reaction. I can anticipate your reaction.
Okay.
It's a headline from the Washington Post. Plastic surgeons say the ballet body is in.
Okay.
Here's what that means.
Real lean.
Yeah, fueled by the rise of the GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy.
Mm-hmm.
So the idealized look in the 80s was muscular and toned with leg warmers. That morphed into skeleton heroin chick of the 90s.
Never.
More recently, a curvier physique with a big buttocks has dominated social media feeds. Is the return of the slim the next woman's body trend? In its annual report, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, man, those conferences got to be freak city, dubbed the new popular look the ballet body. So thinness appears to be making a comeback. And wait, why do you want to look like a ballerina if you aren't a ballerina?
I thought dad bods were in. That's what I've been rocking. Am I wrong here?
I don't think thinness ever went out.
Well, also ballerinas and
Too
ballet.
thin, though. There is too thin.
Well, no, I do agree, but I'm just saying that's always been the beauty standard, I guess.
And also ballerinas and male ballet dancers are muscular. Like they're not just thin. They're strong. You try doing those things. Like if you take these drugs, you're just gonna look sick.
Yeah. They're saying it's like what they call skinny fat, where it's eating a lot of your muscle mass as opposed to your actual fat. And so you're not necessarily healthier, but you're thinner.
Yeah. I'm fat, so I'm good.
Same.
Fat, baby, good.
Yeah, I just saw that and I was like, really? Like who buys into this? These trends?
Very shallow-minded people.
Yeah.
But I get it. Because I see these people, like when we go to the beach and stuff, they're so skinny. But when you talk to them, they still think themselves as fat. And I'm like, honey, have a cheeseburger or something. I mean, I can see a piece of rice go down your throat. Just something.
Yeah, trends in body shapes, like in clothing and hair, inevitably change. And when trends hit the mainstream, the wealthy and chic seek to do something new. In other words, people don't want to look like their mom or their grandma. Women's bodies in society are products. Okay, this is just...
I don't know. Don't be knocking.
And like any product on the market, they have a cycle from the beginning and then they become mature. By the way, all these are plastic surgeons giving these quotes.
Yeah, but wasn't it arranged a while back for the guys to get like the butt implants too?
Oh my God. Or the calf implants?
Yeah. So come on.
It's weird. Or the people now look like Barbie and Ken dolls?
Yeah, I've seen a couple. The real deal.
They don't
folks
look
on
good.
TikTok, they look sick.
Like if you have
mentally
body
and physically.
dysmorphia issues, go like become a bodybuilder. It's worked out actually for a lot of people.
Yeah. Good point.
Wow.
We were all ballerinas once, and then we had children.
I never was a ballerina.
No, I just mean the ballerina bod that they're talking about.
Again, this is like guys are like, oh, if you do this, you'll look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, or it's like, no, you won't. Even if you get in good shape, you're probably not going to look
Still
like.
not going to look like Brad Pitt.
So if you're sticking your stomach with it's amazing how the new trend is what Big Pharma wants. That's amazing. Isn't that just a coincidence?
Well, I just think it goes back to instant gratification. Nobody wants to actually do what it takes to get the result. So instead, we're going to put medication in our body that makes us turn off the quote hunger noise, meaning just quit eating what you're eating and you'll have the same results.
Instant gratification. You are right. And that kind of plagues us all, but you're right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking to myself too.
No, I mean, all of us. That's something that's kind of, I think, has really messed up our society, is that instant gratification all the way around.
Yeah, I think it's just
I might owe somebody an apology.
The elite are awful people. I'm just looking at this article. It is crazy history. Like fashionable Victorians were thought to have imitated tuberculosis symptoms. Georgian England and France's predatory fascination with an African woman may have contributed to the craze for a bustle, the fake bottom of the 19th century. Journalist Heather Radke documented in her 2022 book, Butts. So what's your new book about?
Hey, Becky.
Wait, was that Heather Radke or Sir Mix-a-Lot? I'm not even sure. Anyway, I'm done with that. It just, like, I saw that today, and that's just, I can't.
Can you
can't
ever see
even.
yourself having any plastic surgery?
No. Hell no.
Okay, good. That's good to hear.
No, and also if I get older, like, just be older.
Thank you.
Like, you don't look younger, you just look weird. You look like a lizard person.
Someone in my family got it, and it took me about a year and a half.
Lizard person?
Huh?
Lizard person?
No, they just got a little bit of tightening up, and
Oh.
it changed their look. It took me about a year and a half for my face to or my eyes to recognize it.
That
I didn't like
uncanny
it at first.
valley thing. I don't know.
I was
It's
pretty ticked
interesting
off.
how the Botox and the filler, everybody does it to try to look younger, but oftentimes, especially young women who don't need it, it makes them look 20 years older.
It goes the other route.
Yeah, like you'll see young women in their 20s, early 30s that look like they're in their 40s with Botox and filler. I'm like, that didn't really give you what you were looking for.
I know, but a lot of them think they look good.
I know.
Just look at Madonna. Look at her lately.
No, she's already dead.
Right, but look how
she just doesn't
thinks
know.
She looks good.
Have you seen Shania Twain lately?
No.
She's ruined herself too.
No.
Yes,
She was
beautiful Shania Twain.
beautiful.
I know. She doesn't even look like. I mean, I wouldn't even
Really?
recognize her now. Yeah.
She did the whole stretch back the face. Oh man.
Look up a recent picture. There she is.
Wow.
Oh no.
I know.
That's not good.
That does not look like her at all.
That's not good at all. Here, I'll share this
She
on
looks
the.
like a cheap European imitation of Shania Twain.
Oh, she looks like a drag version of Shania Twain.
Oh, that is not. Wow.
See, if I had not already seen that photo, I would not. If you asked me who that was, I wouldn't have said
Did
that.
she have some
Shania.
health issues or something, or is this about
No, I think it's
choice?
just
Oh,
maybe a
good Lord.
midlife crisis.
Get you a convertible already. By the way, I got a convertible for sale.
Shameless plug.
By the way, what was her biggest hit?
Man, I feel like a woman.
I was hoping you were going to say it. I didn't have to because I would saying it too.
I think that's probably one of the more popular songs on the drag circuit. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Iran has fired dozens of missiles at Israel. One U.S. official warned of severe consequences should Iran fire a ballistic missile into Israel. The current attack is over. No Israeli casualties have been reported. And in another war zone, an apparent Russian artillery strike has hit a market in the southern Ukraine city of Kherson, killing at least 6 people and wounding 3 others. 36 ports across the eastern United States are on strike. Workers began walking picket lines early Tuesday. Their issues are wages and the port's use of automation. There is news that some progress has been reported in negotiations over a new contract. The Dow dropping 39 points. The NASDAQ is off over 200. This is SRN News.
In the new movie, Vindicating Trump, Dinesh D'Souza uncovers the truth behind the Democrats' war on Trump.
Trump has beaten back every attack against him.
The goal is to put him in jail because they're so afraid of his voice.
They cheat in many different ways. That's all they're good at. I want the power just to make the country better.
They fear that power.
Vindicating Trump. In theaters nationwide now. Get tickets today at vindicatingtrump.com. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to October. Our nice weather pattern continues for now. Mostly sunny, comfortable humidity today with a high temperature up to about 86. Mainly clear, comfortably cool tonight. Overnight low 67. Tomorrow and Thursday, more of the same. Sunshine will dominate. We'll be in the upper 80s both days. Then the risk of scattered showers holding off, I think, till Thursday night into Friday with a front nearby. Cooler Friday with a high near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall has filed an amicus brief with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. The state of Alabama is representing 23 other states in asking the 11th Circuit Court to overturn a lower court's decision. That decision would require employers to offer health care coverage to their employees who are seeking for a sex change operation. Those employers who do not do this will face legal repercussions using the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Marshall says this district judge's ruling is an irrational decision and only overextends the application of health insurance plans that offer reconstructive surgery to a biological woman who has had injuries following childbirth. This case originates out of Georgia, where an employee who is a man is seeking to become a woman and have his employer pay for that process. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Dothan jury finds a woman not guilty for a shooting that occurred in 2021 and killed another woman. Carmen Kirkland and Precious Warren were involved with the same man. Kirkland was pregnant with that man's baby when a confrontation with Warren arose. Defense attorneys argue that Kirkland acted in self-defense by shooting Warren after she was first attacked and pepper sprayed by the woman. An Alabama kayaker has completed the longest paddle race in the nation and came in first. Trey Reeves took the Alabama Scenic River route and paddled 650 miles for 7 days, 3 hours, and 20 minutes. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. That's Madeline.
Hey.
And that's Eddie wearing a pool liner again today.
It's a good pool liner.
That's a different pool liner.
This is what happens when you buy a new pool liner.
That's like high class.
Yeah,
right
the other
there.
ones are like 10 summers old, but this is what the new pool liner looks like.
It's not faded, sun worn yet.
Right, faded with chlorine and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pentagon saying no U.S. personnel injured during attack. U.S. is committed to the defense of Israel. They were working alongside the IDF and shooting down a lot of these missiles. The Iranians now saying we don't want war, but we will, face any challenge. So, maybe it's like the last time we did this. Rinse and repeat. But I don't think Israel's going to stop in terms of their efforts against Hezbollah by any means.
No, I think this kind of green lighted some of the things they want to do.
Yeah.
So.
We'll defend Americans if attacked, says the Pentagon. Okay. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. See that Pete Rose died.
Man, yeah. My first book report I ever did
was on Pete Rose?
Was on Pete Rose. Now, you're going to laugh at this part because it was in summer school at Capitol Heights. But it was the very first one I ever did.
Wait, how old?
think it was 7th grade, 7th or 8th grade, something like that.
Why were you in summer school?
Because I annoy teachers and they're like, leave, and then you don't get enough work done, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I was lazy, that's why.
Oh.
I thought I knew it already.
Am I the only one who doesn't know who Pete Rose is?
One of the world's best baseball players of all time.
I think he's still the hit leader, right?
He is.
Oh, wow, okay.
And he was not, because he gambled on baseball.
There's a reason you don't know him, though.
Yeah, because he gambled on baseball. They wouldn't let him in the Hall of Fame, which I think is a travesty. The man did everything he could done, apologized to try to make up for somebody's. He didn't hurt anybody, but for somebody's ill will that.
When did he
picked
ever?
off.
Did he bet to lose? Was he throwing games?
I don't even know if he ever bet to lose. I seen him on 60 Minutes. I've seen him a lot of other times. Everybody that ever meets him loves the man to death.
Yeah.
To me, he was the first
My dad
person
met
that
him
was
on a
ever
plane.
canceled. Yeah, I had a friend of mine met him in Vegas.
Yeah.
They just literally saw him at a bar in Vegas, started talking to him. Said he was the greatest guy.
Oh, I have
ever.
a signed Pete Rose baseball like everybody else.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
He gave one to my dad. Yeah. After they met.
I mean, that's the kind of guy he is, but we're not going to let him in the Hall of Fame. And then it makes you want to look at who's in the Hall of Fame. I bet there's a lot worse people than him.
Oh, yeah.
The first person that was ever truly canceled.
Like, how do you feel? Let's keep this going. How do you feel about the whole steroids thing? Like the era with Sosa and McGuire. And then, of course, Barry Bonds is a whole other side.
At the time, I loved it because, it was action. I love baseball, so it brought some action back to baseball. Do I think, there should be an asterisk and all that there? I really don't get into it that much. I enjoy the game. I don't really care about,
And by the way, I
stuff
think
of it.
Bonds still denies it.
Dude, look at his head. Look at his
agree.
head side. I mean,
agree.
I guess to me that was the stupidest part when they were all denying it. And,
Right.
And we knew it was
No,
going
McGuire said it was something medical. And then didn't Roger
Yeah.
Clemens get
Yeah, they
all
got popped.
mixed up into it as well? And there is a role for steroids in recovery.
But the thing is, they all do it. That's my problem. They all
You're not worried
do
about a
it.
level playing field because they're all on steroids.
They're all doing it. So either
all be off or all be
right,
on.
That's my thing. And okay, well, I got caught this week, but I know Joey does it. But I'm not going to tell on Joey. That's ridiculous. It's an inside secret. They all know. So we're picking on the wrong people.
Yeah, it's just.
And honestly, wasn't baseball hotter?
It was a lot of fun. Man, that home run race was a lot of fun.
When's the last time you got involved in a home run race?
Well, I mean, Aaron Judge had an all right year. And
Hey,
Otani's
Ron.
50-50 season is crazy.
Eh,
But I haven't been following him the same way.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, there's I think a whole sordid history of sports that doesn't, especially the NFL. Like I love
There's
NFL
another one.
football, but the amount of like Oxycontin and Percocet they were throwing at those people, yeah, you're fine. Take it at halftime. Here, we'll get you a shot. Well, like,
don't you remember Johnny Manziel?
and we can get into the CTE thing too. But
College football a while back. Johnny Manziel went in a tent. Remember in an Alabama game, I think it was. Come out of that tent. He went in there limping, came out like $1 million man.
You were about to say something.
Well, no, speaking of the NFL and Alabama football, obviously last weekend was a big game, Alabama-Georgia game, and one of the highlight stars was Ryan Williams, the receiver number 2. And
17 years old.
17 years old. I mean, if the commentators didn't tell us that 17 times.
Right. My bad. I got it every time.
But anyway.
He's only 17.
I know.
Reminds me of a song.
Thank you.
But he's taken a lot of flack because
Really?
of two things. One, his eye black, I don't know if y'all noticed, said kill everybody, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Football. It's a football player.
And people say it's some kind of nod to a movie. I'm not sure what movie it was.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
anyway,
we're all-
there's that. And then, but also after the game, he changed his profile picture on social media to Michael Vick, who went to
He
prison
went after the dogs.
yeah, for killing dogs. So
Come on.
No, I think
saw
this
the
is some
memes.
great crap posting right there. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I know, but people don't have a sense of humor anymore.
How old did you say he was?
17.
Right.
So there
he's
you
a
go.
17-year-old. So what? It could be much worse things that he's putting out there.
Oh yeah. No, I think he should have done the Trump meme. They're eating the dogs.
I know. If
That
they
was
didn't
pretty
play
good.
that at Bryant Denny, that was a missed opportunity. He was
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I mean, they should have done it.
Oh,
Like
they
get
could
him
have
up next to Katie Britton, coach.
had
Like
a
yeah,
band playing that in
Yeah.
the background.
get Bob and Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, yeah.
in on the action.
They did have buttons. A lot of people were wearing
Yeah.
the buttons with Trump and said they're eating the dogs.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's just the especially because I just got and I've been watching follow up this Vince McMahon documentary, and it just brings up so many aspects of these organizations. Where wrestling was 3 clicks from like porn. It was not the classiest thing. He turned a company he bought for $1 million, $2 million into a $9 billion company. pretty crazy success story.
That's success, baby.
And then all the heinous stuff he's alleged to have done behind the scenes. We'll see. I actually started reading legal documents because I just got interested. What's the latest in that lawsuit and the investigation? And it really, at this point to me, is he said, she said. Like, I want to see, because you're only seeing one side of text messages. They're awful. The stuff he is saying in those text messages, like, you are insane. You are an animal, a monster.
Has
like,
that changed your opinion of him?
not really, because I kind of already knew he was that way.
Who are we talking about?
Vince McMahon.
Oh, okay.
And then when you consider his childhood, where he was like beaten and there's suggestions of incest and all this stuff, he didn't know his last name for the first 12 years of his life. And then in the documentary is fascinating because he's sitting there, he's like, oh, I never liked people blaming their environment for keeping them down. You just throw that stuff the F behind you.
Yeah.
Just throw it the F back there and you keep moving forward. And then they were showing clips of like the entertainment he would put on. It's like, I don't think you threw it the F back there. I think you're still fighting those demons, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but that documentary also gets into the whole steroid use in that industry. And then one of the saddest stories ever is Chris Benoit.
Right.
And the CTE story. To Vince McMahon's credit, he called in the guy making the accusations. It was brand new science.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL was denying CTE at the time, too, and funded it. And then they made massive changes to the wrestling biz, to their credit. And it took a while to now where Tua is out for a few weeks on injured reserve, and they're now having the question, like, okay, how many concussions? Bad ones have you had?
That was my thought with him. I mean, you play ball, you have concussions growing up long before you ever make it in high school or college ball. So how many are you allowed to have?
It's, again, you can't really, maybe I don't know the latest procedures, but like you can see after somebody dies, you can really examine the brain.
Right.
But is there like a simple scan to know CTE? Not
don't
really.
think so.
And you got to wonder, like, it doesn't have to be a full-on concussive hit. It could be you're just getting rattled constantly.
Yeah.
And just that over and over again.
Brainstem to rattle. Yep.
And so,
And remembering there's life after football.
True.
Yeah,
But
that's
a lot
a
of guys.
big question.
And that was my thing. Is you got enough money? Why are you still playing? It's got to be bravado. Why? I mean, why else? You've got all the money under the sun. You've made all these accomplishments, but you just can't let the game go.
Well, and then you get to the question of, okay, now more and more people, fans and players alike, understand the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Especially football, wrestling's the same way. Like, you understand, like, hockey's another one. I'm looking at right there, somebody talking about hockey on Fox Business. Like, you know the risks. Is it still worth it? Like you say, I know these are risks.
Oh, yeah.
But I love this game. I'm good at it. I'm going to do it and take the risk. So be it. Maybe not all of us want to live these long, wonderful lives. Now, you could say that when you're 20-something.
Right.
But, it's an interesting question. How much risk is an individual allowed to take? And I tend to believe in freedom. You can take all sorts of risks as long as you're not throwing it onto others.
But I think it's interesting how many football players openly admit now, especially NFL players, they will not let their sons play.
Right.
Never heard that up until just a few years ago, where they openly say, oh, no, my son's not playing. He's going to do this, do that, but he's not playing football.
Right.
Well, and they're changing the rules to help lower the risk as well with like targeting, and all that.
I agree. They're doing that, but you can get that, the shoulder hits that rattle somebody just as much.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, putting your head down and, hitting people that are completely helpless, like in a position like a quarterback or receiver. I get you don't want those hits, but there's so many hits that aren't the high profile ones that make you, everybody, think of linemen. Like how much they're just always every play butting up against each other.
I mean, they're just modern day gladiators.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm torn in the sense of there is something heroic and glorious about going into the arena.
Sure.
Knowing the risks. But then we've become a society of like, well, what about your quality of life?
If you make that, I mean, that's your choice. Just like mine and Madeline's. I mean, not everybody agrees with what we do for a living. They're like, how do you guys do that? What we do. It's comfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there will always be people willing to take the risk at a young age for the glory of it all.
But there are times when you get rattled and you go, okay, that at a young age, you go, okay, that's enough for me.
I think actually the only time I potentially got concussed because I got knocked out for like not long. But it definitely went black. It wasn't football. It was basketball.
Yeah.
Like at a practice.
I mean, any kind of contact sport runs that risk, but of course, football is just contact after contact after contact.
Well, and it was a coach who was playing against us. I won't say his name because he's a great guy. But he had to be a 230 in shape, 230, 220, let's say. Big guy. I was only in high school playing basketball, like $1.45, $1.50. And we both went for a ball at half court. And so the 220, 230 guy
physics
won. And all I remember is, like, I remember getting hit. I remember the moment going for the ball. And then the next thing I know, I'm looking up, everybody's looking down at you.
Yep.
And I'm so sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry I hit you that way. So you do wonder over the years the damage that a head trauma can do.
Oh, man. The first one I ever had, I wasn't playing sports at all. I think we were on a tire swing. I got swung into a tree. And I remember, like you said, I remember opening my eyes and everybody was staring down at me.
What about the dirt clod fights?
Oh, those happen.
Right.
You have more eye injuries than anything.
Well,
and just soft people.
And speaking of that, again, how society has changed. My dad, and he would never let me do this or my brother do this, but when they were kids, they had BB gun fights.
Always.
They go into the woods and they have BB gun fights.
Yeah, it was part of growing
Or
up.
they were driving cars at 8 years old,
Right.
going to pick up their mom's cigarettes, you know?
Right. As long as mom was in the car, you could get beer because the guy would look out and, yeah, it's my mom. Okay.
Well, I think my dad still has a scar right here. That's the one where it made him stop doing it. It was
Yeah.
like right under his eye.
Everybody, everybody got hit in the face at some point. There were a few people that got popped in the eye, I remember.
Well, young men in particular are they're a special kind of invincible.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, and a wise, getting older friend of mine told me it's the whole idea of the young boy that every day is climbing that tall tree just because he can.
Yeah.
I want to climb higher to the highest branch. And the mom's like, he's going to fall out. He's going to break a leg. He's going to,
Yep.
and then the dad's like,
yep.
Yeah, but he wants to climb the tree. Like, and you can't nurse him completely. And actually, I think it's kind of why you need both the mom and the dad, the feminine masculine energy to balance each other out. But I think pardon me, lean towards the more feminine these days.
We have.
More the
We've
protective.
softened things up a bit.
And you got to wonder, how long does that last? Because, again, just like body fashion trends or whatever's the big new thing in sports, things tend to have a pendulum swinging.
I agree. I don't know what's going to make it swing the other way besides hard times.
Mm-hmm.
As things get better, just as a people, we're getting softer.
Pentagon said Israel successfully defended itself. So that statement just came out. And here's a story real quick before we hit a break. Early voting is down dramatically.
Really?
That could be a very good sign. 500,000 ballots cast in 27 states.
I think because people don't trust it.
And apparently it's just nowhere near what pandemic levels were.
Right.
And the advantage Democrats had in early voting is like not as exaggerated at all anymore. Maybe it's a good thing for everybody.
Oh, it's definitely a good thing.
Because this idea of you can vote for months and mail it in,
right.
Then that's counted after the fact. That's, I think, in particular in Pennsylvania, they count the mail-in after the day of votes. It's like talk about democracy. You're really messing with the idea that we're all there on the same day making that choice at the same time. There's something important to that aspect.
Agreed.
And it used to be, only service members or people truly infirmed could get absentee. But if I've told the story before, my dad's dad, my granddaddy, the last words he said to me before he passed away were on election day in 2020. He called me up and he never called me. And he was not in great shape, need to go to the polls. But he insisted, I'm going to the polls. And he said, I love this country. And it sounds almost like I'm making it up. I'm not.
No.
And I thought back and go, wow. Those are he passed on my birthday. So a month later about.
So he's somebody that lived through hard times. He's seen the rise of the country.
Well, he grew up in Andalusia. And
oh, Lord, he had some hard times.
Like, we're no indoor plumbing, electricity for the first few years. And, the family's now doing great. But it's like, hard times.
Got that plumbing fixed?
Well, and his point was just like, he
call
would
on call.
constantly reiterate how poor everyone was.
That's how it was then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's same thing what my dad used to tell us. They lived in Ohio and Florida. They traveled back and forth. No one ever had any money. I mean, that's just the way it was. You didn't, or maybe they just didn't commingle with a higher end of society, but everybody was broke. Everybody around you was broke. It was a struggle.
Right. And he loved FDR. He wasn't even old enough to vote for FDR,
Really?
but, well, like many Southerners, he's the man that brought light. He brought electricity to the South.
Yeah, you're right. I
And
didn't think
honestly,
about
it's kind of hard to argue
Yeah.
with if that was your experience growing up as a kid and you see this president brings
He's
this.
the one that brought the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brings electricity.
Yeah, he was a Democrat to his day. I'm like, you got to stop watching CNN. Just like I tell my dad, stop it with the Fox News. Y'all ruining the family events, arguing with each other. But I think they enjoyed
Yeah. I imagine they kind of look forward to it. I got something to say to him today.
Right. I think at one point I was getting older. I looked at both of them and go, wait, are you running for office? Are you like a senator and I didn't know it? Like, who cares what your opinion is?
And
now look what I
I was about to say.
Really?
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I think my opinion's better than theirs.
Of course you do.
Because it's a libertarian opinion.
No, at this point, it's more like, nah, everybody's full of crap. Which lie do you want to
There
believe in?
you go.
The true things in life ain't around politics. I'll put it that way. So let's hit a break. But first, this part of the program, talking about a feminized society, brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. You know, there are a lot of guys walking around who just feel tired. So tired. They have no energy, no drive, including no libido to speak of, no sex drive. And like they're losing muscle mass, they're gaining weight, and it's not like you're eating more, or changing your dietary habits, or working out less. But all these things are happening at once. It just feels like you're walking through your life in a fog. Well, all those symptoms could add up to very well low testosterone. And knowing whether you have low T is huge in combating these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your market report. So far this year, over 3,300 homes have sold and closed in the River region with an average price of $260,000. Over 60% of these homes sold in 60 days or less and sold for 98% of list price. So, two forces are at work right now. First, we have more inventory of homes now than we've had in 4 years. Second, we also have the lowest interest rates in 15 months for VA, FHA, and conventional loans, and this helps sellers and buyers. In addition, sellers are more willing to negotiate favorable terms for buyers than I've seen in over 4 years. So the objection from potential sellers, where would we go if we sold our house? Well, now you have more homes to view than we've had in a long, long time. Why wait? For more information or a written report, call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or the Goodson Group at 551-0225.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This is Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. Adams Drugs has been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over a decade and have gone from 7 stores to 12 stores. We attribute our success for what they've done for us. Thank you, Blue Water Broadcasting.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
We have Rich Thomas weather coming up in just a moment. First, Sam's calling in with Dr. Sam with a traffic report. What's up?
Hey, Joey, it is not pretty. I just came over I-85 Taylor Road, and when I left from the Eastern Bypass and had to go down the Atlanta Highway and pick up something, and it was backed up already. It's backed up to Chantilly. Brother, you talk about a parking lot. It is a parking lot. I've never seen so many 18-wheelers on the road.
So is this 85 south or north?
85 southbound.
85 south. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you look out the back door, you might see it.
Okay, yeah. Next smoke break.
Brother, hey, yeah, that's going to be a long cleanup, so y'all just take care. I don't know what happened, but there's a parking lot. Thanks.
Thanks for calling it in. Again, Rich Thomas Weather now.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Everybody, our nice weather pattern continues for now. Another comfortably cool night tonight with mostly clear skies. Overnight low temperature down to about 67. Tomorrow and Thursday, more of the same. Sunshine will dominate with tolerable humidity, highs in the upper 80s both days, and the risk of scattered showers holding off till Thursday night into Friday. In fact, Friday will be a cooler day with a high near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm Joey. That's Madeline in the orange.
Happy fall, y'all.
Happy fall. Yeah, it is October 1st.
October 1st.
That's right.
Spooky season upon us.
Pumpkins.
Did you go wake up the Green Day guy?
The what?
The Green Day guy. You're supposed to wake him up when October.
Really?
Look, man, I'm sick. I'm reaching here.
Yeah, I know.
Give me some support.
So what are you going to dress up for Halloween?
I don't know. It's a surprise. We got some people involved, though. We have some people involved.
We got some people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Do you dress up for Halloween?
We are going
We're going to
this
do it
year.
on air, yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Me too.
And what day does the actual Halloween? Oh, on a Thursday. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
perfect.
know. See?
All right. That's
Kind of
perfect.
excited. Yeah.
Like, what do you got in mind? Any hints?
I was thinking the 80s rockers because, I'm an 80s guy, but I think the person we're getting involved is going to go a different route.
Not 80s rock?
Mm-mm.
What, are we wearing furry outfits?
Oh, I hope not. No,
Let's,
I'm
no,
thinking-
I don't want to do that.
No, I think it will be something cooler than that.
Mm. No, I do love the Joe Rogan episode, how, him and Duncan Trussell always dress up when they do a show together. And one time they had the full-on professional furry outfits. They lasted 5 minutes.
So hot.
They're
I
they
can't-
had to take this thing off. I
He had
can't
the
breathe in here.
spaceman outfit on one time too, and same thing. It's got to be so hot.
Yeah,
got to get out of that.
So you're just going to surprise me.
I think we're going to get a couple options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And let the listeners vote. That would be fun.
That's a lot of participation.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to two guys here.
These are the same two guys who wanted to have an on-air hot dog eating contest.
Hey, by the way, congrats, Mark Cumby. He won the hot dog eating contest
Did he?
this weekend at
Grumpy Dog and Wetumpka. I saw that.
Got a
Okay.
crown and everything.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Reigning champion.
Yeah.
I always knew that guy was a champ.
He is, man. But back to the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a good idea? Yeah.
On there?
No. Nobody wants to see that, y'all. Really.
Okay.
All right. Then.
Maybe y'all should dress up as hot dogs.
No, we got some listeners that would. They, yeah.
No.
Take that and run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so. Hey, how about a palate cleanser with Trump?
If and when we win, everyone says, sir, say, if they didn't cheat, I wouldn't even be here today. You know why? I wouldn't have to campaign. I'm here only because they cheat. And they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia. And I mentioned a couple other areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control. Because if there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so damn much. We have to have a landslide.
That'll preach.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we get that landslide. Let's go to Bill. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Hey guys, I've got a suggestion for y'all's Halloween costume.
Okay.
So one of you are dark head, one of you are redhead.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all should dress up like ZZ Top.
The beards and everything?
Yeah,
I could
think
grow.
it'd be great.
I could grow that beard like tomorrow if I really wanted to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie.
Just call them Montgomery Men's Health and they'll help you with that.
That's right.
He just wants to sing Tush on air.
Why you have to tell her all my secrets, man?
So I've got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
What's the earliest you could vote absentee or mail-in ballot?
I don't know off the top of my head. Depends on the state, of course.
Ask the Google.
I wonder if anybody voted before Biden dropped out.
No, I think that would have been too early.
Yeah.
And if they did, and they called in and said, hey, when I voted, Biden was in, I want my vote back. How would that work?
That's a good point.
You wouldn't get it. You had to go get you another ballot and send it in.
Or are they just going to count all the Democratic votes toward whoever did run?
Now, actually, Alabama is very early. 10 states begin mailing ballots to voters 45 days before the election, including Alabama. 9 states begin mailing ballots to voters more than 45 days before the election. That's Arkansas, Delaware, Kentucky, Minnesota, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, West Virginia, and Wisconsin.
But Kamala has been the nominee now for over 2 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'd be outside.
I wonder how much over 45 days they mail it out. It'd be interesting, but it was just, I was driving down the road and that thought just hit my mind.
It's
So I
60
said, hey,
days in North Carolina. I'm looking at a whole list here. Let's go to Pennsylvania. I already passed it. 50 days.
50 days.
Yeah. So Biden shouldn't have been on there by then, but who knows?
Right. Good question.
Y'all have
though.
a great day.
Thank you, Bill. Let's go to Papa B.
What up, Papa B?
Oh, you know, I was thinking ZZ Top for you guys, but I don't know. Would it be more like Metallica, Eddie? Would that, or
I'd
Kiss, or
Megadeth be Dave Mustaine.
Megadeth?
Yeah. He was so
Great
extreme he got
costumes,
kicked out of
though, right?
Metallica for being too
I
extreme.
mean, you really have to.
I was thinking more we go a completely different direction. Joe Thompson twins.
Ooh, now you're talking my language.
Oh.
Flock of seagulls?
What about Duck Dynasty?
Cultural.
Duck
Dynasty.
Y'all could do Duck Dynasty guys or something like that.
Mark Cummings said Smokey and the Bandit.
It's too close to home.
Oh, okay.
We're not even wearing costumes at that point.
True.
True. Which one of y'all is going to be Burt Reynolds, though?
Oh, Joey's little bird's got the mustache.
One of
and
us
all.
could be a Union soldier, the other could be a Confederate.
Put some sunglasses on. Dukes of Hazzard, maybe. I don't know. You know, but
Joey
anyway.
Luke Duke.
I wouldn't
I'll
look
tell you
good in
something,
shorts.
I think he would make a great Luke Duke.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not Daisy, though. Don't try.
No. He ain't got the hips for that.
No trans Daisy.
No, thank you.
Hands down.
No way. So, you know, this, they're eating cats, they're eating dogs. I'm telling you, although it's true, it was also a stroke of genius. I'm telling you, I think that Trump got some momentum out of just that.
I agree with you on that. When he first said it, I thought, oh no, people are going to run with it. But they did run with it, but kind of in a good way.
In a very good way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and they flooded the zone about 3 days ago. I don't know if y'all pay attention to social media at all, like on Facebook and such, but on the videos, I watch them, listen to them some on like on the way home type thing. And I'm telling you, about every third or fourth one was a eating dogs and cats,
dance
video.
Yeah.
Yep.
They came up with all kinds of inventive ways, including, the pets all of a sudden looking at each other like, oh my God.
Oh, it's so funny.
It is. And so, things like that, because, our populace is just so motivated just by social media.
Yes.
A lot of these other things they just don't care about too much or so much, but all of a sudden, if the social media thing kicks in like that, and man, it's just Katie bar the door. It's just my word.
Well, and also, I think this has long been true even before Trump, before social media, but it's heightened now. I don't think if you don't understand wrestling, I don't think you understand American politics. In the sense of, they said it in this Vince McMahon documentary beautifully, it's like, it's about emotion.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you feel like anger or praise or glory? But it is not about the rational arguments over policy. It's about emotion at the end of the day.
Theater.
You are so right. That captures it just perfectly. The wrestling, professional wrestling, and all of the things that go along with it, that's it, man. You said it. So, well, I guess with that in mind, what are we going to see tomorrow night? Or is it tonight?
It's tonight,
right?
It's tonight, yeah.
Yeah, it is tonight. Sorry about that. So, Walls he's playing like, I'm so nervous. I'm not going to do well. That's the play, he may be a lunatic, but he's not stupid. Well, he's not too stupid.
Did you hear that Scott Jennings clip I played yesterday? Him talking about Walls? Okay, it's only 25 seconds. You got to hear this. I think you'll enjoy this, Papa V.
Second of all, Walls is a buffoon. I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America who brags that none of his students can get into an Ivy League school. He's had one consequential press interaction with our Dana Bash, who asked him about the fabrications in his own resume, and his answer was essentially, me no understand words good. He's a buffoon. he's on a free ride for running under Harris. He gets very consequential. Second of all,
That's literally what he said. Well, my wife says my grammar's not too good sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm telling you, he's trying to get to be. He wants to be the underdog. Low expectations, kind of throw that out there. So I guess that if he does not do well, he's kind of got that baked into the cake a little bit.
I'm sure he's been fed the questions just like Kamala was fed the questions.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they requested a lot of rule changes, but they didn't bite. But Walls in particular requested like pre-fried corn dogs in case he gets hungry.
Are you kidding?
What?
No, I am kidding.
Okay. Anything's believable these days.
I can just see that guy be like, I see him an everyday person.
Oh, that's a funnel cake, isn't it? What is it? A funnel cake dad?
Funnel cake dad. Tim Dillon nailed it, man.
I'm telling you, though, look out. I think next week there are going to be some things that are going to start dribbling out. Julian Assange, being released now. More and more, I think there's some stuff that's going to actually come out. And obviously, Clinton and the rest of them, I can't think of that little pencil neck guy's name right off the head.
Adam Schiff.
Yeah, well, Adam Schiff, yeah. I mean, they're already saying, oh, if you see something, oh, if you see something, it's AI, blah, 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 blah. No, there's some real things. They're really bad, and they're going to start coming out. And so it's not just an October surprise like, oh, wow, this one thing. This is like the whole month is going to be one little thing after another, I think. I don't think it's going to give the Trump campaign and those that are working for the Trump campaign are going to give them no relief. It's going to be one right after another to dominate every news cycle available between now and the election time, which is good. Smart thinking on their part.
Well, we shall see.
So, all right, bud.
Thanks, Bobby. 272-9228. Hey, let's see who this is on line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey from Pratt.
Hey, Joey.
How y'all doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Oh, if I was any better, I'd be a twin. All right, 2 things I want to throw out real quick, but they both deal with election. If you go, you made a comment earlier about how if you look at this poll or if you look at this poll or that poll, and everything ends up, it seems like it's a dead heat. It's a dead heat. We don't know who's going to win. Well, if you go back and you look at the replay from when Trump was introduced at the Alabama game, and you go back and you look at the replay from when Walls was introduced at the Minnesota-Michigan game, I kind of consider that a poll.
I agree.
Okay? Because
Yeah.
I didn't hear half the people booing and half the people cheering on neither one. Okay?
Right.
Now, the second point I want to make on the same topic, and I pray for everybody in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee. The path of Helene was destructive. But with the dams burst and the city's completely down and the infrastructure gone, we can all sit here and say this is going to take months to rebuild, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Longer than that, maybe.
So, yes, I agree. Longer than that. The election is only weeks away. At one point, does Vice President Kamala Harris say, "I cannot validate the election from these states"? Those states have no right. They have no way of giving us their vote right now. At one point, did she pull that Trump card?
Especially
No
North
pun
Carolina, yeah.
No pun intended on the Trump card thing.
Right.
But at what point does that happen?
No, I think that's very
valid point.
plausible. Like, yeah, that could happen. That's a great point.
I haven't heard anybody bring up a scenario for this. These people cannot submit their vote to it. Because she's the one that validates it, ain't she? I think she ought to be stripped of that title because the VP validates your electoral colleges and for the state. But if a VP is a candidate, they ought to be exempt from that. I think that's something that needs to be toned down.
And I think I don't have all the details in mind, but I'm thinking after what happened in 2020 with Pence, they actually changed the Electoral Vote Act. So I think they, in some ways, even I'm not a lawyer and I don't have the details right in front of me. I think they neutered any possibility of that happening again. So I don't know.
But all it takes is that we can't verify these. That's all it takes. And then what do we do?
Right. Well,
what do we do then?
Maybe another January 6th, and the Democrats will do it this time.
And people better wake up. And I mean, this is not going to be pretty over the next month.
Well, sobering call, but good one. Thank you, Joey.
All right, bye.
See you, man.
By the way, if the Democrats pull the January 6th, everybody will believe it's for democracy on that side. And it would be sold that way. Like, this is like the Boston Tea Party of the 21st century.
What baffled me was the last debate with Kamala and Trump when the debate was on September 10th, the night before September 11th.
Yeah.
And she stood up there and said that January 6th was the worst thing since the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that they started saying that on the day of.
Yeah.
I remember those emotions that day. Number one, I was pissed off. I was astounded. Like, this is really happening. I was on air with Dan Morris, and at first Dan's like, I was showing him social media. I'm like, no, look at this.
Mm.
And so we're just astounded by the images you're seeing. And then I went from this is awful, this is sad. Then I went to pissed because I was genuinely looking forward to the arguments that, in particular, Senators Hawley and Cruz were trying to come up with to have essentially an expedited emergency commission to settle this thing. And all of that was scuttled, of course. And then I'm watching the senators in particular come back and start giving speeches. And that's when immediately people started referencing Pearl Harbor and 9/11. And I'm like, man, nobody died. Like, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
But our symbols are apparently more important than, actual human lives. And when it happens to a small business, that's just democracy, a mostly peaceful protest in a democracy. When it happens to these members of Congress, well, it's like the worst thing since the Civil War.
Right.
It's absurd. I think, excellent point. That said, what makes me happy? Talking about great sponsors. In particular, talking about Ashley there at Pest Pro Services.
Oh, we love Ashley.
Yes, we do.
She's fantastic. And I'm not even talking about just at Pest Pro, like how much she highlights people in the community, like the athletics in the community, supports the athletics at local high schools all over the area, how much she gives back and does support, helps with other small businesses in the area. She's just a fantastic person and really good at what she does. And of course, at Pest Pro, she's put together an amazing team that can help you if you have an emergency, like you just had the other day with the ants.
Yep.
Or maybe you want to get a one-time job to like have a big shindig in the backyard, want to make sure there are no fire ants, no mosquitoes. Or it could be you're looking for an everyday pest control company that you can trust and know they're going to get the job done well. That is Pest Pro Services. So call them today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. What do you want to know? Call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie and Madeline sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby likes it.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
the premier place the river region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. What? Oh, yeah. You're right. I forgot. We've been having so much fun today that I completely forgot. But waiting a call here from Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. And, well, what did we learn today? U.S. assets used to intercept Iranian missiles. Looks like a lot of the defensive shield worked. Thank God. Trump called it, we just avoid a huge catastrophe. He is correct about that. Let's go to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Yeah, talking about avoiding a huge catastrophe. We had a water damage in here yesterday. I knew I heard something leaking, and I was looking up the air conditioner vent, and I'm like, well, I'm just hearing things. I went and sat down, and Bart come around the corner and goes, oh, my word, the water fountain's leaking.
Oh.
Yeah. But fortunately, I ran to one of the guys I do water damage for, Bart, a couple of fans, snatched all the floors out. This morning came back, put the floors back in, and nobody ever knew what happened.
Oh, nice.
Nicely done.
That's how you handle a water damage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But if you have a water damage, the moral of the story is we know how to do everything from the time it happens till the time it's done, and we can make it happen fast. But you got to call us at 285-8117 and then come in here, pick out some floors. We handle all this stuff. And while you're here, go ahead and register for a new countertop. You might get a free countertop out of the deal.
Yeah, but you have to be in person to get into that drawing, right?
Yes, absolutely. And you don't have to buy anything. Just come in, smile real big, sign up, and walk out.
That's, of course, 2201 Cobbsford Road, folks. Or if you're looking for some brand new flooring, 285-8117. That's, again, 285-8117. When you call them, be sure to tell them you heard Ray here on the radio.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray. So, again, what did we learn today? Other than, war is a hell of a thing.
I need a real quick brag on Prattville Carpet.
Okay.
Okay. So I went to Prattville Carpet, and they helped me get a rug cut for my living room, and I had it in less than a week.
Wow.
Yes. Isn't that awesome?
That's really good.
I was so impressed when he told me that, when I picked it out, and he said, okay, all right, well, we'll have it done in less than a week. And I was like, okay. And I thought to myself, sure. But they did it.
Wow.
I know.
All right.
Isn't that impressive?
It is.
We got a lot of good sponsors.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, like that mortgage company we push all the time. Really good folks.
Oh, they're really good folks over there.
Yeah.
They even work on weekends when I call them.
So today we learned about the port strike.
Yep.
And
His 80-foot yacht
will cripple you. Yeah.
Do you think his guys that work on the boat are union? I'm going to go with no.
Yeah,
but
probably not. We learned about the new plastic surgery trend, ballet body, which y'all ain't looking like ballet dancers if you're just sticking yourself with drugs. Give me a break.
That's just not a good look. I like somebody that looks healthy.
Well, and also to quote Sir Mix-a-Lot, Fonda ain't got no motor in the back of her Honda.
Right.
And like,
plus, I want somebody, if they're going to get sick, I want them to have a little weight on them so I know I ain't got to worry
and
about
you see what
dying
that
away
sort of person did to
tomorrow.
Ted Turner.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Devil. Whew.
Wait, have you ever gotten in such an argument you're like, devil woman?
No, I used to say much worse than
Oh,
that.
yeah, I was about to say. That's just a little
Yeah.
much. We're actually stalling because I think Greg is stuck in traffic.
Sitting in traffic?
Yeah, he said it's the worst thing since the Civil War.
Oh, wow. Pretty bad then.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, we learned that Tim Walz lied again.
And it has no
Even
shame in
CNN
it.
picked this up. That it was like, I was in Hong Kong, like how he gesticulates and just, he's ridiculous. I was in Hong Kong during Tiananmen Square.
I bet Corn Pop was there with him.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Was a bad dude. You don't want to be called Esther Williams.
Yeah. Oh, you remember, you probably know this before your time, John Amos, the father from Good Times, passed away today. 84, I think.
And yesterday, Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah.
Also
man.
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
I'm going to look up John Amos. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. And he's been on TikTok. I know y'all mock me in my TikTok, but he's one of the ones been on TikTok for about a year. And if somebody, all of a sudden you find him and you're like, oh, wow. And he's with his son and he's traveling around. And so hate that we lost him. And also from Roots. I don't know, that's again before y'all's time, but.
And Coming to America.
When I grew up, Roots came on. It was, I think, 5 days it was on, and you had to watch it. It was like a homework assignment.
Oh, really?
Yes. And not, I mean, my parents, we sat down with my parents to watch it anyway, but I remember in school it was a homework assignment.
Think Oprah was actually method in that? No.
Oprah, she's about to get burst. Telling you. All roads lead to Oprah.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, you think she's in on all that Diddy stuff?
Look at all those pictures with the folks that have been busted for it, and Oprah has a picture with every one of them, from Weinstein to Pitti.
Well, and apparently Ashton Kutcher is now worried too. That's the story, at least, that was out there. Who knows?
I know Usher has basically taken himself off of all social media.
Usher has.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, because I know him and Bieber were close.
Yeah.
Like musically, Usher taught Bieber, got everything he knew.
Oh, yeah. And they started analyzing.
He's the one who found
Bieber's
him on
songs.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. That's the story anyway.
Yeah, and there is something about you want to reach the upper echelon. It could be politics. It could be the music industry. It could be the movie industry. It could be professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Like there is this seedy, dark
There's
side.
gatekeepers. And to think there's not going to be gatekeepers, what world do you live in? Yeah. You're going nothing. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
This is why I like being at this humble perch. Nobody asked me to do anything like that.
You just hadn't found your price yet.
Yeah.
We're still working on it.
Yeah, no.
We do know it's not a Brazilian/Russian woman, because you had that, opportunity when.
What?
When you were a couple years ago, you went and did a thing where you met the judge.
Oh yeah.
Remember there was someone there who was
I think she
halfway
was,
interested?
no, I don't think she was Russian.
Oh.
Yeah, she was Puerto Rican.
My bad.
And I suspect a vehement anti-Semite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you think this person's cool and like a dancer and a singer, and they start talking a little
Oh,
more.
wow, no.
And you're like, this is either an FBI informant
or
she is, in fact.
Wow, I didn't
vehement
know that part of the
anti-Semite.
story.
Yeah, like we're not.
Right, but
they come in all shapes and sizes. They're not all like, neck beards on the internet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good call then. Good dodge.
That was a fun time.
Good dodge.
So how about this? Let's hit the top of our break. We'll stick around if Greg is still stuck in traffic.
Okay.
Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Iran launching dozens of missiles into Israel. The missile attack and a retaliation promised by Israel threatened to push the Middle East closer toward a region-wide war. Before Iran's attack, Israel had landed a series of devastating blows in recent weeks against Hezbollah's leadership in Lebanon. The U.S. is consulting with Israel on the next steps. Claudia Sheinbaum has been sworn in as Mexico's first female president. Spiking temperatures adding to the challenges facing firefighters in Southern California. Evacuation orders expanded again on Monday for remote communities northeast of Los Angeles. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 62 points. The Nasdaq Composite is off 230. This is SRN News.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How?